This insight naturally leads us forward into the realm of real-time financial clarity. To truly optimize your runway, we must embrace tools that provide constant, accurate data on your spending. Many professionals discover that even after meticulously calculating their escape number and making conscious expense reductions, smaller, persistent financial leaks can subtly erode progress and delay their transition. Budgeting apps aren't just for tracking. They are strategic command centers for optimizing your finances. The first thing to grasp is that leveraging technology for this real-time data collection removes the guesswork and emotional bias from your financial decisions. Consider a time when you felt a vague anxiety about your money, unable to pinpoint exactly where your funds were going. This lack of precise information can paralyze exit planning and lead to negotiation mistakes, as you're operating without complete awareness of your financial power. One shift that accelerates progress is the ability of these apps to instantly categorize your spending, revealing subtle patterns, or money leaks, that manual tracking often misses. These insights allow you to reallocate resources towards your runway or skill acquisition, directly boosting your earning power and leverage. Your practical action for today is to sign up for a reputable budgeting app and link your primary financial accounts. Another factor that changes everything is the psychological comfort of always knowing your financial position. Take a moment to consider how much more confidence you'd have if your financial picture was always crystal clear. Armed with this continuous insight, your financial decisions become precise and powerful. Clarity drives command. There's a deeper layer worth exploring concerning your runway calculations: the often overlooked impact of inflation. Many professionals calculate their escape number based on today's expenses, failing to account for the gradual, yet significant, erosion of purchasing power over time. This oversight can render your meticulously saved capital inadequate, turning a planned, secure transition into an unexpected period of budget stress. The first thing to grasp is that your escape number isn't a static target. It's constantly eroded by inflation. Consider a time when the cost of everyday necessities, like groceries or fuel, seemed to jump, even though your income remained steady. That's inflation at work, meaning your future self will need more dollars to maintain the same quality of life. Without factoring this in, your planned 6-month runway might realistically become only 5 months by the time you're ready to make your move, compromising your exit strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is to proactively build this factor into your target. As a rule of thumb, increase your total runway target by at least 3% to account for this silent erosion. This isn't about fear, it's about robust planning, ensuring your savings remain adequate to cover expenses during your transition. Another factor that changes everything is making this adjustment a regular part of your financial review, perhaps annually, especially if your transition timeline extends. Take a moment to consider how much longer your runway needs to be to genuinely secure your future purchasing power. Accounting for inflation ensures your freedom remains truly funded. Plan wisely, live freely. Chapter 2: High Leverage Skills, the Income Multiplier. Think of Javier, a diligent software developer for a traditional corporation. He was technically proficient, worked long hours, but his salary had stagnated for years. He watched as new colleagues, fresh out of specialized boot camps, commanded significantly higher offers, often for remote roles. Javier felt stuck, undervalued. He realized his generalist skills, while solid, weren't translating into the exponential income growth he craved. It wasn't until he invested in mastering a niche, high-demand skill like advanced machine learning deployment that his career exploded. Suddenly, he wasn't just a developer. He was a time solution multiplier, able to work for top-tier companies globally, dictating his rates and his schedule, completely transforming his earning power and freedom. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own professional sphere. Many professionals discover that merely working hard is insufficient for true income growth and job escape. The first thing to grasp is that not all skills are created equal in the marketplace. Market demand, not just your personal effort, drives earning potential, and some capabilities offer far greater leverage. Consider a time when you saw someone with a niche, specialized talent command premium rates, while others with broader, more common skills struggled for modest increases. This directly connects to your career strategy, focusing your development on skills that solve critical, painful problems for businesses, especially those that offer remote application. One shift that accelerates progress is actively researching trending skills within your desired industries or niches. Look for what companies are paying top dollar for, what is frequently outsourced, or what bottlenecks industry leaders are trying to solve. Another factor that changes everything is prioritizing capabilities that inherently facilitate remote work. This geographic independence expands your client base, allowing you to bypass local salary ceilings and client acquisition friction, dramatically increasing your income potential and personal autonomy. Your skill choices are your most potent income multiplier. Invest strategically, earn exponentially. With that foundation in place, let's explore how to exponentially increase the leverage of your skills. By combining them, rather than being a master of one, aim to be very good at several complementary skills, creating a unique value proposition that dramatically increases your marketability and earning potential. Many professionals discover that true differentiation doesn't come from being slightly better at a common skill, but from being proficient at an unusual times combination times of skills. The first thing to grasp is that this skill stacking creates scarcity. Consider a time when you needed a service or solution, and the ideal candidate possessed a rare blend of technical expertise, communication skills, and perhaps project management ability. That person commanded premium rates because they solved a complex problem holistically. Think of a web developer who also understands marketing psychology, or a financial analyst who can write compelling copy. This blend transforms them from a commodity into a strategic asset. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously identifying 3 complementary skills that, when combined, create a unique offer in your desired niche. This might involve pairing a hard technical skill with a soft skill like advanced negotiation, or an industry-specific knowledge with a cross-functional capability like data visualization. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that these stacked skills don't all need to be world-class. Being in the top 25% in 3 different areas can make you the *only times viable candidate for certain roles or projects. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own professional decisions. Your unique skill stack becomes your personal market advantage. Combine for leverage. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about skill stacking. The challenge often isn't what time skills to acquire, but how times to acquire them efficiently within a busy adult life. This brings us to the power of short, focused learning sessions. Many professionals discover that the idea of dedicating large, uninterrupted blocks of time to learning is often unrealistic, leading to procrastination and stalled skill development. This, in turn, impacts their earning power and long-term career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that consistent, small efforts accumulate into significant mastery. Consider a time when you tried to cram for an exam or learn a complex topic all at once, only to find retention was poor. Our brains thrive on spaced repetition and focused bursts. Think of the cumulative effect of a daily workout. Each session is small, but over time, it creates profound physical change. The same principle applies to acquiring high-leverage skills. One shift that accelerates progress is dedicating just 30 minutes daily to learning a new skill online. This could be a module in a specialized course, a deep dive into an industry report, or practicing a new software feature. This concentrated effort maximizes learning efficiency and retention, making it a powerful component of your exit planning. Another factor that changes everything is that these short bursts are far easier to integrate into your existing schedule, reducing the friction of starting and maintaining a learning habit. Take a moment to consider where you could realistically carve out 30 minutes in your day, consistently. This commitment to micro-learning is the silent engine of your future earning potential. Consistent effort, exponential skill. Now here's where the real shift begins in skill acquisition. Leveraging the abundance of free online resources. Many professionals believe that acquiring high-leverage skills demands expensive certifications or prolonged academic programs, creating a significant financial barrier to entry and delaying their career strategy. This simply isn't true in today's digital landscape. The first thing to grasp is that accessible, high-quality learning is readily available, removing the financial friction from skill development and increasing your earning power without draining your runway. Consider a time when you wanted to learn something new, but felt deterred by the cost of a formal course. Think of the vast wealth of knowledge freely shared by experts through platforms like Coursera, edX, or even YouTube tutorials. What separates consistent earners from the rest is not always superior intelligence, but superior resourcefulness in utilizing available tools for growth. One shift that accelerates progress is actively exploring these free online courses, tutorials, and specialized communities. These platforms often offer foundational knowledge that can be directly applied to real-world projects, building tangible experience. Another factor that changes everything is that participation in online communities built around these skills provides invaluable peer learning, feedback, and networking opportunities, crucial for client acquisition and exit planning. Your practical action today is to explore free courses on platforms like Coursera, Skillshare, or even free bootcamp resources, and identify one that aligns with your desired skill stack. Take a moment to consider how much faster you could accumulate new expertise with zero financial outlay. Unleash your learning without breaking your budget. Knowledge is truly power. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about cost-effective learning. Once you start acquiring those high-leverage skills, the next critical step is demonstrating them. This means creating a portfolio that provides tangible, undeniable proof of your capabilities. Many professionals discover that even with impressive resumes and robust skill sets, securing high-paying independent work or even negotiating a better salary can be challenging without concrete examples of their work. Abstract claims rarely command premium rates. The first thing to grasp is that a portfolio acts as your digital showroom, converting interest into trust and trust into paid opportunities. Consider a time when you evaluated a service provider or potential hire. What truly convinced you? It was likely seeing concrete results or examples of their expertise in action. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability not just to *have skills, but to *showtimes them. One shift that accelerates progress is starting a free portfolio website or blog to showcase your projects, case studies, or even detailed explanations of how you've applied your skills to solve problems. This doesn't need to be complex. Platforms like Google Sites or WordPress.com offer easy, no-cost entry points. Another factor that changes everything is that this portfolio becomes a dynamic, living resume, constantly updated with new work. It's an invaluable tool for client acquisition and for validating your earning power, giving you leverage in any negotiation. Take a moment to consider how much more credible you would appear to a potential client or employer with such a resource. Your portfolio is your proof of value. Show your worth, command your rate. Moving from theory into practice. With your skills acquired and your portfolio ready, the logical next step is to monetize them. This means actively exploring different avenues for generating income from your expertise, such as freelancing or consulting. Many professionals discover that holding on to valuable skills without actively applying them in the marketplace is like having a powerful car that never leaves the garage. It doesn't contribute to your runway or expand your earning potential, keeping you trapped by salary ceilings. The first thing to grasp is that even small, initial projects generate not just income, but invaluable experience and proof points for your portfolio. Consider a time when you hesitated to put yourself out there, fearing you weren't ready or experienced enough. This hesitation, though understandable, delays the critical feedback loop and client acquisition friction that builds true confidence and market insight. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to start small, learn fast, and adapt their offerings. One shift that accelerates progress is immediately signing up for a reputable freelancing platform and bidding on a small, achievable project that aligns with your newly developed skills. This low-stakes entry point allows you to test your market value, refine your client communication, and build a track record. Another factor that changes everything is that even modest earnings from these side ventures directly contribute to your runway, giving you more leverage and options in your career strategy. Take a moment to consider the smallest, most manageable project you could tackle right now. Action transforms skill into income. Your market awaits your value. Chapter 3. Salary Negotiation. Command your worth. Think of Alex, a talented project manager who had just received a job offer from his dream company. Excited and a little intimidated, he accepted the initial figure presented, eager to get started. 6 months later, during a casual conversation with a new hire in the same department, Alex discovered his colleague, with similar experience, was earning 15% more. The realization hit him like a punch. He had undervalued himself simply because he hadn't known what was truly possible. This oversight didn't just cost him income. It fueled a quiet resentment that eroded his job satisfaction and delayed his ability to build his financial runway. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own decisions, perhaps in conversations you've avoided. Many professionals, like Alex, approach salary discussions from a position of uncertainty. The first thing to grasp is that negotiation is not about asking for more. It's about aligning your compensation with your demonstrated market value. Researching industry standards to truly understand your worth transforms the conversation from a plea into a data-backed proposal. Data empowers you to negotiate effectively, preventing those costly negotiation mistakes that compound over years, directly impacting your earning power and slowing your financial independence. One shift that accelerates progress is systematically using platforms like Glassdoor, LinkedIn Salary, or PayScale to compare salaries for similar roles, industries, and geographic locations. This isn't just a casual glance. It requires dedicated investigation into specific compensation ranges for your skill set. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that your market value isn't static. It evolves with your skills, experience, and the demand for your expertise. This research provides the leverage to break through artificial salary ceilings and accelerate your exit planning. Equip yourself with knowledge. It's the foundation of your worth. Know your value. Command your future. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about researching market value. Knowing what you should times earn is one thing. Proving you deserve times it is another. This brings us to the critical importance of quantifying your accomplishments and demonstrating your tangible impact. Many professionals discover that simply listing responsibilities on a resume or talking vaguely about their contributions falls flat in a negotiation, leading to undervaluation and slower income growth. Concrete data strengthens your position, making your case undeniable. The first thing to grasp is that employers and clients pay for results, not just effort or time. Consider a time when a colleague successfully advocated for a raise, and upon reflection, you realized they had presented a clear, numbers-driven argument for their value. Think of how a sales professional measures their success in revenue generated, not just calls made. This directly impacts your earning power. One shift that accelerates progress is to list 3 quantifiable achievements from your current or past roles. Did you reduce costs by a certain percentage? Increase efficiency by X amount? Onboard Y number of new clients? These specific metrics provide irrefutable evidence of your contributions. Another factor that changes everything is translating even seemingly soft skills into measurable outcomes. For example, improved communication might lead to a 20% reduction in project delays. Take a moment to identify one recent contribution where you can assign a numerical value to your impact. This objective proof is the leverage you need to command your worth and accelerate your exit planning. Quantify your value. It's the language of influence. Speak in numbers. Earn your worth. Now here's where the real shift begins in commanding your worth. Mastering the art and science of negotiation itself. Having the data and the quantifiable achievements is crucial. But you must effectively not communicate that value. Many professionals discover that even with strong qualifications, they leave money on the table due to fear, awkwardness, or a lack of specific negotiation techniques. These negotiation mistakes can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars over a career, significantly delaying financial freedom and job escape. The first thing to grasp is that negotiation is a learnable skill, not an innate talent. Consider a time when you saw someone confidently advocate for themselves and achieve a favorable outcome, and perhaps you wished you had their composure. Strategic communication maximizes your leverage by framing your requests around the value you bring, not just your personal desires. Think of how a seasoned salesperson doesn't just list product features, but speaks to the asterisk benefits and time solutions for the client. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously practicing specific negotiation techniques. This includes anchoring, setting a high but reasonable initial figure, using silence effectively, and articulating your why with confidence. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to comfortably engage in these discussions. Another factor that changes everything is role-playing these conversations. Dedicate time to practice your negotiation skills with a trusted friend or mentor, rehearsing various scenarios and objections. This builds muscle memory and confidence. Take a moment to reflect on your most recent negotiation and what you might have done differently with these techniques. Preparation and practice transform intimidation into influence. Negotiate with intent. Elevate your income. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about mastering negotiation techniques. The culmination of your research and quantified value is the confident counteroffer. This is the moment to strategically assert your worth and secure a higher salary potential. Many professionals discover that even after receiving an offer, they hesitate to counter, fearing they'll lose the opportunity. This fear often leads to accepting below-market rates, directly hindering their income growth and runway buildings. The first thing to grasp is that a counteroffer is a standard, expected part of the hiring process. It's not an insult, it's a negotiation. Consider a time when you purchased a significant item, like a car or a house. Negotiation was an implicit part of the transaction. The same applies to your compensation. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their understanding that not asking for more is leaving money on the table. One shift that accelerates progress is clearly defining your walk-away point before entering negotiations. This minimum acceptable compensation, based on your market research and personal financial needs, provides clarity and confidence. Another factor that changes everything is meticulously preparing your counteroffer, articulating your desired compensation not as a demand, but as a reasoned proposal, backed by your proven value and market data. Take a moment to consider how establishing a firm walk-away point would empower your next salary discussion. Your counteroffer is your direct investment in yourself. Negotiate your worth. Secure your future. This insight naturally leads us forward, beyond the base salary, into the broader spectrum of your total compensation package. To truly command your worth, you must also negotiate additional benefits like flexible work arrangements, professional development, or increased paid time off. Many professionals focus solely on the numerical salary figure, overlooking the immense value these non-monetary perks add to their quality of life, career strategy, and long-term financial freedom. The first thing to grasp is that these benefits often have a tangible monetary value, reducing your personal expenses or increasing your future earning potential. Consider a time when a flexible schedule allowed you to pursue a side hustle, care for family, or avoid a stressful commute, effectively adding hours and peace of mind to your week. Think of how a company-sponsored certification or conference directly enhances your market skills, increasing your leverage for future opportunities. One shift that accelerates progress is researching common benefits packages in your industry and proactively identifying which perks align with your job escape goals. Are you looking for a compressed workweek to build your side business? Tuition reimbursement for a high-leverage skill? Another factor that changes everything is approaching these benefits as part of a holistic compensation discussion. Frame your requests not as demands, but as mutually beneficial arrangements that enhance your productivity and long-term commitment. Take a moment to identify one non-salary benefit that would significantly improve your current work situation. Beyond the numbers, negotiate for your life, a fit. Optimize your package. Empower your escape. Moving from theory into practice. With your market value established and your quantifiable impact documented, it's time to strategically approach internal raises. Many professionals discover they diligently deliver outstanding work year after year, yet see only incremental, often inflation-matching, salary adjustments. This passive approach often leaves significant money on the table, directly hindering income growth and delaying their ability to build a robust financial runway for job escapes. The first thing to grasp is that your manager isn't solely responsible for proactively recognizing and rewarding your full market value. You are. You must initiate the conversation and present your case. Consider a time when a colleague complained about being underpaid, but never formally requested a raise, merely hoping their contributions would be noticed. Think of the difference it makes when you arm yourself with data and a clear narrative of your value. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously scheduling a dedicated meeting with your manager to discuss your performance and salary expectations. This isn't an ambush during a casual chat. It's a professional discussion that signals your intent and respect for their time. Another factor that changes everything is arriving at this meeting prepared with the market research, quantifiable achievements, and an understanding of the specific value you bring to the company that we've already covered. This transforms a potentially awkward request into a compelling business case for increased compensation, giving you significant leverage. Take a moment to consider how being proactive could change your current trajectory. Proactive advocacy is your pathway to commanding internal worth. Own your value. Elevate your income. Chapter 4. Side Hustle Ignition. Validate and Launch. Think of Ben, an IT professional weary of the relentless grind. He was good at his job, but the corporate ladder felt more like a cage. He yearned for the freedom to control his time and income, yet the gap between his stable paycheck and an uncertain entrepreneurial leap felt insurmountable. Ben had a knack for simplifying complex tech for small businesses, often helping friends for free. He never saw this as a times marketable skill, just a favor. His friends, however, consistently paid experts for exactly what Ben provided freely. This small disconnect was his hidden opportunity for escape. Take a moment to consider those activities you genuinely enjoy. where time seems to melt away, and perhaps others have even complimented you on them. Many professionals discover that chasing side hustle ideas purely for profit can quickly lead to burnout, replicating the very job they're trying to escape. The first thing to grasp is that true, sustainable side hustles are born at the intersection of your skills, interests, and genuine market demand. Passion isn't a luxury. It fuels the consistent effort required to build a new income stream. Consider a time when you enthusiastically dedicated hours to something you loved, compared to a task you found tedious. That intrinsic motivation is crucial for building your runway without adding more stress. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously generating side hustle ideas that align deeply with what you already enjoy or excel at. Your practical action today is to list 5 potential side hustle ideas based on your unique skills and interests. Think about problems you naturally solve for others, or creative outlets you're drawn to. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that these initial ideas don't need to be fully formed businesses. They are hypotheses to be tested, directly contributing to your earning power and exit planning. Your interests are your most sustainable fuel for income. Ignite your passion, build your freedom. With that foundation in place, let's move beyond ideation to crucial validation. To prevent wasted time and resources, you must test the market demand for your side hustle idea before investing significant effort. Many professionals discover that even brilliant concepts, born from genuine passion, can fail if they don't solve a real, felt problem for paying customers. This oversight can lead to frustrating, risky transitions, where your new venture drains your runway rather than extending it. The first thing to grasp is that your personal conviction, while valuable, must be secondary to market demand. Consider a time when you poured effort into a project you loved, only to find no one else shared your enthusiasm enough to buy into it. Think of the client acquisition friction that arises when you're pushing a service that doesn't genuinely resonate with a target audience. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their discipline in validating their assumptions early. One shift that accelerates progress is actively conducting a simple survey or poll to gauge genuine interest in your side hustle idea. This doesn't require complex market research. A few well-crafted questions sent to potential customers or community groups can provide invaluable feedback. Another factor that changes everything is that this validation process refines your offering, helping you articulate its value proposition clearly and identify who your ideal customer truly is. This low-cost, high-impact step directly increases your earning potential by ensuring your efforts are directed toward a viable opportunity. Take a moment to consider how quickly you could test one of your ideas with simple, direct feedback. Validate your vision. The market will show you the way. Prove demand. Build success. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about validating your side hustle ideas. Once you've gauged initial interest, the next crucial step is to launch a basic, minimum viable product version of your side hustle to gather real-world feedback. Many professionals discover they get stuck in endless planning, striving for perfection before ever putting their idea out there. This pursuit of an ideal initial launch prevents actual learning, delays income generation, and ultimately hinders their job escape and career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that done is better than perfect when you're testing the waters. Consider a time when you saw a startup release a simple app, gather user feedback, and then iterate quickly. Think of the client acquisition friction you can overcome by having a real, albeit basic, offering for people to react to, rather than just an abstract concept. This iterative improvement process is what separates consistent earners from those who remain stuck in ideation. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a simple landing page to promote your side hustle's minimum viable product. This could be a basic website describing your service, a free consultation offer, or a simple digital product. Platforms like Card or ConvertKit allow you to build professional-looking pages quickly and affordably. Another factor that changes everything is actively seeking feedback from your first few customers. Use their insights to refine your offering, pricing, and messaging, directly enhancing your earning power. Take a moment to consider what the absolute simplest version of your side hustle could look like and how you could present it online. Launch to learn, iterate to earn. Action clarifies. Feedback refines. Now here's where the real shift begins in making your side hustle truly viable. Determining the optimal pricing strategy. Many professionals discover they undervalue their services when first launching, often due to a lack of confidence or fear of not getting clients. This leads to burnout, an unsustainable business model, and ultimately hinders their earning potential and job escape efforts. Balancing the value you provide with your own profitability is crucial for long-term success. The first thing to grasp is that cheap pricing often attracts difficult clients and doesn't communicate quality. Consider a time when you opted for the cheapest service and were disappointed with the results. Think of the budget stress and client acquisition friction that arises when you constantly feel underpaid for your effort. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to charge appropriately for the value they deliver. One shift that accelerates progress is thoroughly researching pricing models used by competitors in your niche. This isn't about copying, but understanding the market landscape and what customers are already willing to pay for similar services. Another factor that changes everything is beginning with a premium offer, even if you anticipate eventually offering lower tiers. It sets a high standard for your brand and allows you to discount strategically, rather than constantly justifying low prices. Your practical action today is to identify 3 competitors offering similar services and research their pricing structures. Take a moment to consider the perceived value of your services if you position them at a premium. Price for value, not just for volume. Command your worth. Build your wealth. This insight naturally leads us forward into attracting your first paying customers. With your validated idea and optimal pricing strategy in place, the next crucial step is to implement effective marketing strategies. Many professionals discover they have a great product or service, but struggle with client acquisition friction because no one knows it exists. Without visibility, even the best side hustle remains a hobby, failing to contribute meaningfully to your income growth or job escape plan. The first thing to grasp is that marketing doesn't have to be expensive or complex. It's about connecting with your target audience where they already are. Consider a time when you discovered a useful product or service simply because a friend shared it online, or you saw it mentioned in a relevant community. Think of the power of direct reach without incurring significant advertising costs. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to actively promote their value. One shift that accelerates progress is to proactively share your side hustle on social media platforms where your ideal clients spend their time, and within relevant online communities or forums. Frame your posts around solving a problem for others, not just selling. Another factor that changes everything is asking for testimonials or reviews from your first few clients. Authentic social proof dramatically reduces client acquisition friction and builds trust, directly enhancing your earning power. Take a moment to consider where your ideal customer hangs out online and how you could genuinely offer value there. Visibility converts effort into income. Be seen, be heard, be paid. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about marketing your side hustle. Once you've successfully attracted an initial customer base, the next strategic imperative is to scale your side hustle by automating processes and delegating tasks. Many professionals discover that early success can quickly lead to burnout if they remain the bottleneck for every operation. Without efficiency, their income growth plateaus, and the dream of job escape becomes just another demanding job. The first thing to grasp is that your time is your most valuable asset, especially when building a runway. Consider a time when you were overwhelmed by repetitive administrative tasks that took away from your core, value-generating work. Think of how this inefficiency creates client acquisition friction by limiting the number of customers you can serve effectively. Efficiency is not merely about saving time. It's about unlocking growth and increasing your earning power. One shift that accelerates progress is to systematically identify tasks you can automate or delegate to free up your valuable time. This could involve using scheduling software, email autoresponders, or outsourcing specific functions to a virtual assistant. Your practical action today is to list 3 recurring tasks within your side hustle that could potentially be automated or delegated. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that delegation isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strategic move that allows you to focus on high-leverage activities that truly move the needle for your business and accelerate your exit planning. Automate the mundane, elevate your mission, scale with strategy, free your time. Chapter 5. Time Mastery, Deep Work and Focus. Consider Sarah, a marketing manager with ambitious dreams of launching her own consultancy. Every evening, after a demanding 9 to 5, she'd sit at her home office, determined to build her new venture. Yet hours would melt away answering emails, browsing inspirational content, or getting sidetracked by minor household chores. She felt constantly busy, exhausted, and frustrated, but her side hustle barely progressed. This cycle wasn't due to a lack of ambition, but a profound unawareness of where her precious time truly went, leaving her stuck in burnout and unable to build her escape velocity. Her potential remained locked, not by external forces, but by unseen time leaks. Take a moment to consider where your own productive energy might subtly leak away during a typical day. Many professionals discover they vastly overestimate their focused work time and underestimate the insidious creep of distractions. The first thing to grasp is that true awareness enables effective optimization. You cannot manage what you don't measure. This directly impacts your earning power, as every minute diverted from high-leverage activities is a minute not invested in skill stacking or runway building. Consider how often a quick check of social media or news turns into a 20-minute rabbit hole, siphoning away energy that could be used for your career strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is making time tracking a non-negotiable practice for at least 1 week. Your practical action today is to track your time for 1 week using a simple time tracking app on your phone or computer. This isn't about judgment, it's about data. Another factor that changes everything is analyzing that data to identify unproductive habits and genuine time leaks. You'll gain clarity on the difference between being busy and being productive, allowing you to reclaim hours for deep work. This transparent audit of your hours is the bedrock of reclaiming your focus. Master your time, master your destiny. With that foundation in place, let's explore a powerful tactical tool for maximizing those reclaimed hours: the Pomodoro technique. Many professionals discover that even with the best intentions, sustained focus remains elusive in a world saturated with digital distractions. This constant context switching fragments attention, turning potential deep work into shallow busy work. Think of trying to learn a new high-leverage skill or build your side hustle. The progress is agonizingly slow, and burnout becomes inevitable. The Pomodoro technique offers a structured approach to combat this, enhancing focus and significantly improving output, building crucial momentum for your career strategy and exit planning. The first thing to grasp is the core principle: focused work in short, intense bursts, followed by brief, restorative breaks. Typically, this means 25 minutes of undivided attention on a single task, followed by a 5-minute break. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to cultivate this mental discipline, treating their focus like a muscle to be strengthened. This directly translates to more completed projects for your portfolio, or more progress on your side hustle. Another factor that changes everything is using those breaks intentionally to truly step away, not just switch to another screen. This helps reset your cognitive load, preventing the mental fatigue that leads to poor decision-making. Take a moment to consider how much more concentrated effort you could apply with such clear boundaries. Your practical action today is simple. Try the Pomodoro technique for your very next work session. Structured focus multiplies your impact, turning fragmented time into tangible progress. Focus fiercely, work smarter. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about using the Pomodoro technique. While short bursts of focus are powerful, for truly transformative work, like developing high-leverage skills or building your side hustle, you need to schedule blocks of uninterrupted time for deep, focused effort. Many professionals discover that their days are fragmented by constant meetings, notifications, and urgent interruptions, preventing them from ever engaging in work that truly moves the needle. This lack of deep work directly impacts income growth and delays any meaningful progress towards job escape. The first thing to grasp is that true productivity isn't about managing more tasks. It's about minimizing distractions to maximize the quality of your output. Consider a time when you had to complete a complex report or master a new concept, and you needed total concentration to succeed. Think of the frustration when a boss's impulsive request or a flurry of notifications derailed your flow, forcing you to restart your mental engine. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate creation of focus sanctuaries within their schedules. One shift that accelerates progress is explicitly scheduling these deep work blocks in your calendar, treating them with the same sanctity as an important client meeting. Your practical action today is to schedule a 2-hour block for deep work in your calendar this week. Another factor that changes everything is proactively communicating these focus times to colleagues or family, setting clear boundaries. This minimizes external interruptions, allowing you to achieve more in less time, directly contributing to your skill stacking and runway building. Take a moment to consider the one high-leverage task you would dedicate this 2-hour block to. Protect your focus. It's the crucible of creation. Schedule your deep work. Accelerate your rise. This insight naturally leads us forward to the environment itself. To truly harness deep work, You must actively minimize distractions in your physical and digital work environment. Many professionals discover they're constantly fighting an uphill battle against notifications, open tabs, and visual clutter, severely impacting their concentration and productivity. This creates a perpetual state of shallow work, hindering their ability to build high-leverage skills or advance their side hustle, directly impacting income growth and career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that your environment is a powerful determinant of your focus. Consider a time when you tried to read an important document in a busy coffee shop versus a quiet library. The difference in comprehension is stark. Think of the cumulative effect of constant micro-interruptions on your mental energy and the quality of your output. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate creation of a distraction-free zone for their most important work. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying and systematically eliminating 3 common distractions from your workspace. This could mean turning off all non-essential notifications on your phone and computer, closing unnecessary browser tabs, or decluttering your physical desk. Another factor that changes everything is using simple tools, like noise-canceling headphones or website blockers, to create an immediate barrier against digital temptation. Take a moment to scan your current workspace and identify a few immediate distractions you could remove. Control your environment. It controls your focus. Eliminate distractions. Cultivate concentration. Moving from theory into practice. With your environment optimized, the next strategy for deep work is grouping similar tasks together to minimize context switching and improve efficiency. Many professionals discover their days are a patchwork of different types of work. A quick email, then a creative task, then a phone call, then data entry. This constant mental reorientation is incredibly draining, slowing down progress on their side hustles and significantly reducing their overall income growth. It makes building a runway feel like an endless uphill battle. The first thing to grasp is the cost of switching. Each time you shift from one type of task to another, your brain needs time and energy to reorient. Consider a time when you were deeply immersed in a creative project, only to be pulled away by an urgent email, and felt the struggle to regain your previous flow. Think of how batching repetitive tasks, like responding to emails or making calls, frees up significant mental bandwidth for high-leverage work. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate design of their workflow to reduce this mental friction. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying tasks that require similar cognitive functions or tools, and then scheduling dedicated blocks of time to tackle them all at once. Your practical action today is to batch similar tasks for a more streamlined workflow. For example, dedicate 1 hour in the morning to all email correspondence, another block in the afternoon for all administrative duties, and then protect a significant chunk for creative or strategic projects. Another factor that changes everything is using specific tools to support this batching, like creating email templates or task lists, further boosting your efficiency and accelerating your career strategy. Take a moment to consider which 2 types of tasks you could batch together tomorrow. Optimize your workflow, multiply your output, batch for brilliance, gain momentum. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about batching tasks and optimizing your environment. The ultimate skill in time mastery is not just doing things right, but doing the asterisk right times things. Many professionals discover they confuse activity with accomplishment, dedicating precious hours to urgent but low-impact tasks. This reactive approach creates burnout cycles and significantly slows income growth and job escape, keeping them trapped in an unfulfilling career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that effective prioritization isn't just about making a list. It's about discerning what truly moves the needle. Consider a time when you spent an entire day on administrative details, only to realize your high-leverage project, critical for your skill stacking, sat untouched. Think of the clarity this brings to your career strategy, ensuring that the time you allocate to your side hustle is truly impactful. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate use of tools to identify what truly matters. One shift that accelerates progress is systematically using a prioritization matrix, like the Eisenhower matrix, to categorize your tasks by urgency and importance. This helps you focus on the important, non-urgent quadrant, the strategic planning, skill development, and relationship building that truly builds your runway. Another factor that changes everything is consciously dedicating your scheduled deep work blocks to these high-impact items. Your practical action today is to use a prioritization matrix to rank your most critical to-do list items. Take a moment to consider the top 3 items on your current to-do list. Where would they fall on such a matrix? This clear lens ensures every hour invested is maximally effective towards your freedom. Prioritize purpose. Amplify impact. Chapter 6. Market Mapping. Your Niche Advantage. Think of Alex, a talented software developer who, for years, marketed himself as a generalist, capable of building anything for anyone. He spent countless hours sending out generic resumes and bidding on low-paying freelance projects, constantly feeling like a commodity. His income plateaued, and his career felt stagnant. He was busy, but perpetually stressed, unable to build any meaningful financial runway for his dreams of a job escape. Then, he decided to focus solely on developing niche automation tools for small manufacturing firms. Suddenly, his marketing became precise, his networking targeted, and his value proposition undeniable. He attracted fewer, but significantly higher-paying clients, becoming the go-to expert, and his income soared, illustrating the profound power of specificity. Take a moment to consider who you truly enjoy working with, or which problems genuinely excite you to solve. Many professionals discover they fear narrowing their focus, believing it will limit opportunities. The first thing to grasp is that defining your ideal customer or employer isn't about exclusion. It's about concentrating your efforts where they will yield the greatest return. Specificity improves every aspect of your career strategy, from your messaging to your networking, directly enhancing your earning power and accelerating your path to financial freedom. Consider how much easier it is to communicate your unique value to a precisely defined group versus a broad, undifferentiated audience. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a detailed profile of your ideal customer or employer. This goes beyond demographics to include their challenges, aspirations, and where they seek solutions. Another factor that changes everything is realizing that this clarity reduces client acquisition friction and prevents you from wasting time on misaligned opportunities. Your practical action today is to sit down and craft a detailed profile of your ideal customer for your side hustle, or your ideal employer for your next career move. Precision in targeting multiplies your impact. Define your niche. Command your market. With that foundation in place, let's turn our attention to the competitive landscape. Defining your ideal customer is essential, and the next critical step is to analyze your competitors to identify their strengths and weaknesses. Many professionals discover they either ignore competitors completely or, conversely, become paralyzed by comparison. Both approaches are detrimental, leading to missed opportunities, poor positioning, and unnecessary client acquisition friction. Strategic insights from competitor analysis significantly improve your own market positioning, directly enhancing your earning power and shaping your career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that this isn't about copying, it's about informed differentiation. Consider a time when a new product entered a crowded market by highlighting a specific flaw in existing solutions. Think of the budget stress a company faces when it's constantly battling on price, because it hasn't established a clear, unique value proposition. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to identify gaps or underserved needs within a market. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying 3 to 5 direct or indirect competitors and systematically analyzing their strategies. Look at their pricing, their messaging, their customer reviews, and their perceived strengths and weaknesses. Your practical action today is to identify 3 key competitors for your side hustle or your target career role, and begin this analysis. Another factor that changes everything is using this information to articulate what makes Times uniquely valuable. This clarity allows you to create an offering that truly stands out, directly contributing to your runway building and job escape planning. Take a moment to consider one area where you could genuinely differentiate yourself from your competition. Analyze wisely, differentiate boldly, position with precision. Command your market. Moving from theory into practice, with your competitor analysis giving you valuable strategic insights, it's equally crucial to stay informed about broader industry trends. Many professionals discover that even a perfectly positioned side hustle can become obsolete if they fail to anticipate shifts in the market or technology. This reactive posture leads to costly, risky transitions and significant client acquisition friction as your skills or offerings become less relevant. Proactive adaptation, however, ensures long-term success, directly impacting your earning power and solidifying your runway for job escape. The first thing to grasp is that the landscape is constantly evolving, and ignorance is not bliss, it's a liability. Consider a time when a major industry shift, left many businesses struggling because they clung to outdated practices. Think of the critical advantage you gain by being among the first to understand emerging market skills, allowing you to skill stack proactively. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their dedication to continuous learning and foresight. One shift that accelerates progress is making it a habit to regularly consume industry-specific news and analysis. Your practical action today is to subscribe to at least 3 relevant industry newsletters or follow key thought leaders in your niche. Another factor that changes everything is actively looking for patterns or signals that indicate future demand or potential disruption. This intelligence allows you to adapt your offerings, develop new skills, or even pivot your career strategy before a crisis forces your hand. Take a moment to consider one emerging trend that could impact your current career or side hustle. Foresight is your shield and your sword. And anticipate change. Dominate your future. Now here's where the real shift begins in leveraging your niche advantage. Developing a robust networking strategy to build relationships with key industry players. Many professionals discover that having a great idea or skill isn't enough. Opportunities often come through connections, not just qualifications. Without a proactive approach to networking, you face increased client acquisition friction, miss out on high-leverage collaborations, and significantly delay your income growth and job escape. Connections truly open doors to new possibilities, directly impacting your career strategy and runway building. The first thing to grasp is that networking is about building genuine relationships, not just collecting business cards. Consider a time when a trusted referral made all the difference in a hiring decision or a new business venture. Think of the hidden job market or unspoken client needs that are only revealed through personal conversations and shared trust. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their understanding that their network is a vital asset, offering both support and new pathways. One shift that accelerates progress is strategically engaging with your industry, both online and offline. Your practical action today is to attend an industry event, either in person or virtual, or actively join an online community relevant to your niche. Another factor that changes everything is focusing on providing value first, offering help, insights, or resources, rather than immediately seeking something in return. This builds reciprocity and trust, making your connections far more powerful. Take a moment to consider one valuable insight you could share with someone in your target network today. Your network is your net worth. Cultivate connections. Unlock opportunities. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about networking with key industry players. While making connections is vital, your digital footprint, specifically your LinkedIn profile, acts as your persistent ambassador. Many professionals discover they've neglected this powerful tool, leaving it as a static, outdated resume. This passive approach creates significant client acquisition friction, hinders their ability to attract high-leverage opportunities, and ultimately slows their income growth and job escape. Optimizing your LinkedIn profile is not optional. It's a critical component of your career strategy that dramatically enhances your visibility. The first thing to grasp is that your LinkedIn profile isn't just a digital CV, it's your professional storefront, often the very first impression you make. Consider a time when you sought out an expert or a service provider and made a judgment based entirely on their online presence. Think of the missed opportunities when a potential employer or high-value client searches for specific market skills and your profile doesn't appear or falls flat. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive management of this crucial asset. One shift that accelerates progress is ensuring your profile is always current, showcasing your latest skills and achievements. Your practical action today is to update your LinkedIn profile with your most relevant skills, recent experience, and future aspirations, using keywords that your ideal employer or client would search for. Another factor that changes everything is crafting a compelling headline and summary that clearly articulates your unique value proposition. This clear communication builds trust and authority even before a direct conversation, significantly contributing to your runway building. Take a moment to consider how your current LinkedIn profile reflects the true depth of your expertise and your professional ambition. Your digital presence dictates your opportunities. Optimize your profile, amplify your reach. There's a deeper layer worth exploring. Developing your personal brand. While an optimized LinkedIn profile provides visibility, your personal brand is the unique fingerprint that differentiates you and attracts truly aligned opportunities. Many professionals discover they either neglect their personal brand or attempt to appeal to everyone, resulting in a generic, unforgettable presence. This leads to increased client acquisition friction and prevents them from commanding premium rates, directly hindering their income growth and slowing their path to job escape. Authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation upon which trust is built, essential for your career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that your personal brand isn't what you say it is. It's what others say about you when you're not in the room. Consider a time when you instinctively trusted a service provider or thought leader because their values clearly resonated with yours. Think of the power of attracting opportunities that align perfectly with your strengths and aspirations, rather than constantly chasing after any available work. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate clarity around their unique professional identity. One shift that accelerates progress is explicitly defining your core values and the unique strengths you bring to the market. Your practical action today is to articulate your personal brand values and identify how you can communicate them consistently across all professional touchpoints. From your online presence to your in-person interactions. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this consistent communication builds a reputation that precedes you, making negotiation mistakes less likely and attracting high-leverage clients who already trust your unique approach. Take a moment to consider what unique strengths and values you bring to the table that you might not be actively showcasing. This intentional cultivation of your professional identity is your most potent magnet for the right opportunities. Build your brand. Build your future. Chapter 7. Portfolio Power. Proof and Case Studies. Consider Maria, a freelance graphic designer with immense talent, but a fragmented collection of client projects scattered across various hard drives and emails. When she pitched new clients, she'd describe her capabilities eloquently, but couldn't quickly provide a cohesive, visually compelling demonstration of her past successes. She often found potential clients hesitating, skeptical, or only willing to pay entry-level rates, leading to constant budget stress and a feeling of being undervalued. Her income growth stalled, and her dream of replacing her corporate salary remained just that, a dream. Maria quickly realized that her words, however persuasive, were simply not enough. Clients needed to *C times her results to experience the impact of her work firsthand before they would invest. Without this tangible evidence, her true potential for financial freedom was locked away. Many professionals discover that merely stating their capabilities is insufficient in a competitive landscape. The first thing to grasp is that a well-crafted portfolio shifts your value proposition from an abstract claim to undeniable proof. This visual evidence dramatically reduces client acquisition friction and empowers you to command higher rates, directly impacting your earning power. Consider the moment when a potential client sees a clear, impactful example of your work. Their skepticism dissolves, replaced by confidence. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their strategic understanding that a portfolio serves as a powerful lever for career strategy and job escape. It's not just for creatives. Anyone can showcase project outcomes, data analysis, or strategic plans. One shift that accelerates progress is meticulously selecting your best work samples, ensuring each piece tells a story of problem solved, value delivered, and tangible results achieved for your target audience. Your practical action today is to begin curating your top 3 most impactful work samples that demonstrate your core skills and accomplishments. Take a moment to identify one project where you truly made a significant impact that you could showcase. Your proof is your power. Showcase your value. Secure your future. This insight naturally leads us forward into documenting your successful projects as compelling case studies. While a visual portfolio showcases what times you can do, case studies highlight how times you solve problems, narrating the journey and the impact. Many professionals discover that simply presenting work samples isn't enough to secure high-value clients or senior roles. There's often client acquisition friction because potential partners need to understand your strategic thinking. Without these stories, your true problem-solving abilities remain unseen, hindering your income growth and delaying your job escape. Stories resonate deeply with potential clients and employers. The first thing to grasp is that case studies transform your accomplishments into persuasive evidence of value delivered. Consider a time when you evaluated a solution and wanted to understand the process and measurable results, not just the final product. Think of the confidence a boss or investor gains when you can articulate not just a task completed, but the challenge overcome, the actions taken, and the quantifiable outcome. This directly enhances your earning power and bolsters your career strategy. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to tell a clear, concise story around their projects. One shift that accelerates progress is structuring your case studies to include the problem, your unique solution, and the specific results achieved. Your practical action today is to select one successful project and write a brief case study detailing these elements. Another factor that changes everything is focusing on results that align with the budget stress or business challenges your ideal client or employer faces, demonstrating immediate relevance. Take a moment to recall a project where you truly solved a significant problem for someone. Your narratives prove your impact, tell your story, command your value. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about crafting compelling case studies. While your own words are powerful, nothing builds trust quite like the endorsement of others. This is why gathering testimonials and reviews from satisfied clients or employers is absolutely critical. Many professionals discover that even with strong portfolios and case studies, potential clients still harbor a degree of skepticism. They need external validation. This lack of social proof creates significant client acquisition friction, leads to negotiation mistakes, and directly impedes your income growth and the speed of your job escape. Social proof validates your claims and significantly accelerates trust. The first thing to grasp is that testimonials are not just feel-good compliments. They are powerful marketing assets. Consider a time when you chose a restaurant, a product, or a service based on positive reviews from strangers. Think of the peace of mind a hiring manager feels when they see a former boss praising your specific market skills. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive approach to collecting and leveraging these endorsements. One shift that accelerates progress is making it a standard practice to request testimonials from clients or colleagues immediately after a successful project or collaboration. Your practical action today is to identify 3 past clients or colleagues and reach out to them with a polite request for a testimonial. Another factor that changes everything is guiding them on what to include. Asking them to highlight specific problems you solved or the measurable impact you delivered. This ensures the testimonials speak directly to the budget stress or career challenges of your target audience, significantly bolstering your career strategy and runway building. Take a moment to identify one person who you know would speak highly of your work and whose endorsement would be impactful. External validation amplifies your message. Collect praise, build trust. Now here's where the real shift begins in making your portfolio and case studies truly compelling. Highlighting quantifiable results. Many professionals discover they can articulate their skills, but struggle to provide tangible, measurable proof of their impact. This vague presentation leads to significant client acquisition friction, makes salary negotiations challenging, and leaves potential employers or clients guessing at your true value. Without data-driven evidence, your claims remain unsubstantiated, slowing your income growth and delaying your path to job escape. The first thing to grasp is that numbers speak a universal language of value. Consider a time when a sales pitch included specific percentages of growth or cost savings, instantly making it more credible. Think of the immense leverage you gain in salary negotiations when you can point to quantifiable improvements you've driven, rather than just listing responsibilities. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their meticulous tracking and articulation of measurable outcomes. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously attaching metrics to every achievement in your portfolio and case studies. Your practical action today is to review your key achievements and quantify their results. Instead of saying, managed social media, say, grew social media engagement by 30% in 6 months, leading to a 15% increase in qualified leads. Another factor that changes everything is tailoring these metrics to resonate with the specific budget stress or revenue goals of your ideal client or employer. This demonstrates a clear understanding of their needs, directly contributing to your career strategy and runway building. Take a moment to identify one key achievement you've had and brainstorm how you could quantify its impact. Show, don't just tell. Quantify your value. Measure your impact. Multiply your worth. Moving from theory into practice. With your quantifiable results ready to impress, the next step is ensuring your portfolio is seen. This means using online portfolio platforms to easily showcase your work and reach a wider audience. Many professionals discover that even with brilliant work, it remains hidden, requiring them to constantly send individual files or links. This creates unnecessary client acquisition friction and limits their visibility, hindering their income growth and their ability to build a robust runway for job escape. Accessibility is key to improving visibility and amplifying your reach. The first thing to grasp is that a dedicated online platform acts as your always-on exhibition, accessible to anyone, anywhere. Consider a time when you wanted to quickly review someone's work, and they simply sent you a single, Professional link. Think of the market skills and high-leverage projects that could attract attention from across the globe if properly showcased. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their strategic use of readily available tools to present their capabilities. One shift that accelerates progress is choosing a platform that aligns with your industry and audience. Your practical action today is to research and create an account on a reputable portfolio platform like Behance, Dribbble, or even a personal website with a dedicated portfolio section. Another factor that changes everything is optimizing your profile on these platforms with relevant keywords, allowing potential employers or clients to find you organically. This broadens your reach significantly, directly supporting your career strategy. Take a moment to consider how much easier it would be for potential clients or employers to discover your best work if it were all in one accessible place. Visibility drives opportunity. Showcase online. Expand your world. Now here's where the real shift begins in truly maximizing your portfolio's power, tailoring it to align precisely with your specific career or business goals. Many professionals discover they present a generic collection of work, hoping something will stick. This broad approach dilutes their message, creates significant client acquisition friction, and often leads to negotiation mistakes because their value isn't clearly targeted. Without deliberate relevance, your portfolio loses its cutting edge, hindering your income growth and delaying your path to job escape. Relevance isn't a suggestion, it's what maximizes your impact. The first thing to grasp is that your portfolio isn't a museum of everything you've ever done. It's a strategic showcase designed to solve a specific problem for a specific audience. Consider a time when you received a resume or pitch that felt perfectly crafted for your needs versus one that was clearly generic. Think of the market skills you want to be known for, or the high-leverage clients you aim to attract. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their understanding that customization is a form of persuasion, demonstrating immediate fit and understanding. One shift that accelerates progress is creating different versions or sections of your portfolio, each optimized for a distinct target. Your practical action today is to customize your portfolio to directly match your ideal target job or client profile. This means removing irrelevant projects and highlighting those that directly speak to the needs, challenges, and aspirations of your intended audience. Another factor that changes everything is using language in your project descriptions that mirrors the terminology and values of your target industry, making your offerings feel inherently valuable and directly applicable to their budget, stress, or growth objectives. Take a moment to consider how you could reorganize your existing work to directly address the specific needs of your top target client or employer. A tailored portfolio is a targeted missile, not a shotgun blast. Customize for impact. Command your destiny. Chapter 8. Client Funnel/Job Search System. Consider Sarah, a highly skilled marketing specialist, yearning to escape her draining corporate job. For months, she poured hours into her side hustle, taking on any client who would pay, regardless of fit or project scope. Her job search was equally frantic, applying to dozens of roles that only vaguely matched her skills. She found herself constantly underpaid, dealing with difficult personalities, and feeling perpetually overwhelmed, struggling to build any financial runway. Her efforts felt scattered, her energy depleted, and her dream of freedom seemed more distant than ever, simply because she hadn't defined who she was truly trying to serve, or where her unique value would be most appreciated. This scattershot approach was her biggest bottleneck. Take a moment to reflect on whether your own client acquisition or job search efforts feel focused or fragmented. Many professionals discover that without a clear target, their efforts are wasted like seeds thrown onto barren ground. The first thing to grasp is that clearly defining the characteristics of your ideal client or target company isn't about narrowing your options. It's about magnifying your impact and focusing your search where you can truly thrive. This clarity eliminates significant client acquisition friction and prevents negotiation mistakes, directly bolstering your income growth and accelerating your job escape. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their precise understanding of who they serve best. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a detailed profile of your ideal client or employer. This goes beyond basic demographics to include their pain points, aspirations, values, and even where they consume information. Your practical action today is to sit down and create a detailed profile of your ideal client for your side hustle, or your ideal employer for your next career move, complete with 3 to 5 specific characteristics. Another factor that changes everything is using this profile to filter opportunities, ensuring every outreach, every pitch, and every application is hyper-relevant and compelling. Clarity is the compass that guides your efforts. Define your target, Find your market. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about defining your ideal client or target company. Knowing who times you want to serve is paramount, but it's only half the equation. The next critical step is to implement systematic strategies to generate leads and actively attract those potential clients or employers. Many professionals discover they have a valuable skill or service, but lack a consistent method to bring opportunities to their doorstep. This passive approach leads to inconsistent income growth, perpetual client acquisition friction, and a significantly slower path to building a financial runway for job escape. Visibility doesn't just happen. Visibility drives opportunities. The first thing to grasp is that waiting for clients or jobs to find you is a gamble, not a strategy. Consider a time when you poured effort into perfecting your craft, only to realize that no one knew about your exceptional market skills. Think of the immense leverage gained when you proactively fill your pipeline, rather than reacting to scarcity, which often leads to negotiation mistakes and undervaluation. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate, ongoing effort to stay visible to their ideal audience. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing a multi-pronged approach to lead generation. Your practical action today is to identify 3 lead generation strategies specifically tailored to your business or career. This could involve targeted networking and professional communities, consistent content creation that addresses your ideal client's pain points, or strategic outreach to companies that match your ideal employer profile. Another factor that changes everything is setting a consistent schedule for executing these strategies, making lead generation a non-negotiable part of your weekly workflow. Take a moment to consider which lead generation method feels most natural and sustainable for you right now. Proactive visibility creates inevitable opportunity. Generate leads. Command your future. This insight naturally leads us forward to the critical stage of crafting compelling applications or proposals. You've defined your target and generated leads. Now you need to clearly articulate why you are the solution. Many professionals discover they submit generic resumes or bland proposals that fail to highlight their unique value proposition. This leads to high client acquisition friction, makes negotiation mistakes more likely, and results in missed opportunities that directly impede income growth and job escape. Strong communication doesn't just inform, it increases your chances of success. The first thing to grasp is that every application or proposal is a sales document, even for a job. Consider a time when you were presented with a solution that immediately spoke to your problem, making you feel understood. Think of the power of clearly connecting your market skills to the specific pain points or aspirations of the employer or client. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to translate their capabilities into tangible benefits for the recipient. One shift that accelerates progress is moving beyond merely listing responsibilities to focusing on accomplishments and the value delivered. Your practical action today is to review and refine your application or proposal template, ensuring it explicitly highlights your unique value proposition. Another factor that changes everything is tailoring each submission. This means customizing your language and examples to directly address the specific needs and budget stress points outlined in the job description or client brief, demonstrating a deep understanding and immediate relevance. Take a moment to consider one key achievement you have that directly addresses a common problem for your target audience. Your message is your magnet. Communicate value. Attract opportunity. Now here's where the real shift begins in converting interest into opportunity. Preparing thoroughly for interviews. After all your efforts in market mapping and crafting compelling proposals, the interview is where you bring your value to life. Many professionals discover they rely on improvisation, leading to fumbling answers, missed opportunities to showcase key market skills, and negotiation mistakes later on. This lack of preparation creates significant client acquisition friction and can result in burnout cycles from repeatedly falling short. Confidence isn't innate. Confidence impresses interviewers, and it's built through practice. The first thing to grasp is that an interview is a performance, and like any performance, it requires rehearsal. Consider a time when you watched someone deliver a presentation with effortless poise, because they had clearly practiced. Think of the peace of mind knowing you can articulate your experience and value without hesitation, directly addressing a potential boss's concerns. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their dedication to mastering the interview environment. One shift that accelerates progress is anticipating common questions and practicing your answers out loud, focusing on the problem-solution-result framework. Your practical action today is to identify 5 common interview questions relevant to your desired role or client type, and practice answering them aloud. Another factor that changes everything is preparing specific examples from your past experience that highlight your problem-solving abilities and how you align with the company's culture or the client's needs. This builds a robust runway for success by demonstrating not just competence, but readiness. Take a moment to identify one recent success story you could confidently share in an interview setting. Preparation fuels presence. Practice for power. Interview with impact. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about interview preparation. Even after a stellar interview, the process isn't over. The critical next step is to implement effective follow-up strategies to stay top of mind with potential clients or employers. Many professionals discover they perform well but then vanish, assuming their work is done. This passive approach often leads to losing out to more persistent competitors, increases client acquisition friction, and can result in significant negotiation mistakes if you're not perceived as fully engaged. Persistence isn't pushiness. It's a professional demonstration of continued interest that significantly increases your chances of success. The first thing to grasp is that follow-up is an extension of your professionalism and a reinforcement of your value. Consider a time when a thoughtful follow-up email or call brought someone back into your consideration, simply because they showed initiative. Think of the competitive edge you gain by demonstrating not just your market skills, but your superior communication and commitment. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their disciplined approach to nurturing every potential opportunity. One shift that accelerates progress is making a personalized thank you a non-negotiable part of your process. Your practical action today is to send a concise, personalized thank you note after each interview or significant meeting, reiterating your interest and briefly referencing a key point discussed. Another factor that changes everything is maintaining a respectful, yet consistent, cadence of follow-up tailored to the situation. This could mean sharing a relevant article or simply checking in on the agreed-upon timeline. This proactive engagement directly contributes to your income growth and accelerates your runway building towards job escapes. Take a moment to consider how a thoughtful follow-up could have changed the outcome of a past opportunity. Follow through with finesse. Persistence prevails. Opportunity awaits. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about effective follow-up. Even with all the right pieces in place, a clear target, strong leads, compelling proposals, and confident interviews, your journey to financial freedom and job escape relies on continuous refinement. Many professionals discover they go through the motions but fail to analyze their results, leading to burnout cycles from unoptimized effort and repeated negotiation mistakes. Without tracking your progress and optimizing your approach, you're essentially operating blind, hindering your income growth and delaying your runway building. Continuous improvement is not just a philosophy, it's the engine that maximizes your effectiveness. The first thing to grasp is that what gets measured gets managed. Consider a time when you improved a skill or habit by simply tracking your daily efforts and noticing patterns. Think of the immense leverage gained by identifying precisely where your client funnel or job search system is leaking, whether it's low response rates on applications or poor conversion from interviews. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their analytical approach to their own professional development and acquisition strategies. One shift that accelerates progress is establishing a simple, disciplined method for tracking your efforts and outcomes. Your practical action today is to begin tracking your application or proposal submission rate, along with the corresponding response rate. This could be in a spreadsheet or a dedicated tool. Another factor that changes everything is a willingness to critically analyze this data. If your response rate is low, perhaps your initial outreach or value proposition needs tweaking. If you're getting interviews but no offers, your interview strategy or market skills presentation might require adjustment. This data-driven approach empowers you to adapt your career strategy with precision. Take a moment to consider one area of your professional outreach where you currently feel a lack of clear data. Data transforms effort into strategy. Measure your effort. Multiply your success. Chapter 9. Risk Mitigation. Legal and Benefits. Imagine Sarah, a talented marketing consultant, thrilled to land her first substantial client after years of building her side hustle. Eager to begin, she downloaded a generic contract online, made a few quick edits, and sent it off. Months into the project, the client shifted scope without agreement, demanded additional work for free, and eventually withheld a portion of payment, citing vague clauses Sarah hadn't fully understood. She found herself in a frustrating, costly dispute, burning precious time and energy she needed to grow her business or build her financial runway. Her dream of job escape felt jeopardized, not by a lack of skill or effort, but by an oversight in understanding the legal groundwork. Take a moment to consider where you might be making assumptions about legal protection in your current work arrangements. Many professionals discover that neglecting legal foundations can lead to significant financial and emotional stress. The first thing to grasp is that familiarizing yourself with basic legal considerations for your business or employment isn't about anticipating conflict. It's about knowledge protecting your interests, allowing you to operate with greater confidence and leverage. Without this understanding, you expose yourself to negotiation mistakes, client acquisition friction, and unexpected budget stress that directly impede your income growth and career strategies. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive approach to safeguarding their work. One shift that accelerates progress is investing time in understanding common contract terms, intellectual property rights, and liability. Your practical action today is to consult with a legal professional to review your existing contracts, or to help draft a robust template for future agreements. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that a small, upfront investment in legal clarity now builds a far more secure runway for your financial freedom and job escape, preventing costly issues down the line. Clarity in legal matters builds an unbreakable foundation. Understand your rights. Protect your future. Moving from legal foundations, we now turn to another crucial aspect of risk mitigation: securing adequate insurance coverage. Many professionals discover they view insurance as a mere expense, an afterthought, until an unforeseen event threatens to unravel their hard-earned progress. This oversight can lead to immense budget stress, forced negotiation mistakes from a position of weakness, and severely delay their runway building for job escape. Protection isn't just a safety net, it provides true peace of mind, allowing you to focus on income growth without paralyzing worry. The first thing to grasp is that insurance is a strategic investment in your financial future, safeguarding your assets and capabilities. Consider a time when a friend or colleague faced a major health crisis or a lawsuit, and how having the right coverage made all the difference. Think of the confidence you gain knowing that a single mistake in your side hustle won't wipe out your savings, or that an unexpected illness won't derail your entire career strategy. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive approach to insulating themselves from catastrophic risks. One shift that accelerates progress is a thorough review of your current insurance policies. Your practical action today is to assess your health, disability, property, and, if applicable, professional liability coverage to ensure it aligns with your evolving career and lifestyle. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that as you move towards job escape, you'll likely need to replace employer-provided benefits, making this review even more critical. Ensuring adequate coverage now helps mitigate potential risks, allowing you to transition with far greater stability. Take a moment to consider how well your current insurance portfolio truly protects the future you are building. This proactive layer of defense allows you to pursue your ambitions with an unshakable sense of security, protect your assets, propel your progress. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about securing adequate insurance coverage. Beyond immediate protection, a truly robust strategy for financial freedom and job escape must include meticulous planning for your long-term health and retirement benefits. Many professionals discover they become acutely aware of these benefit gaps only times leaving a traditional employer, leading to immense budget stress and risky transitions into self-employment. This oversight can quickly erode your hard-earned financial runway, transforming a planned exit into a scramble. Planning doesn't just safeguard your future, it empowers your present. The first thing to grasp is that employer-provided benefits are often a significant, often invisible, component of your compensation. Consider a time when you or a colleague faced a major medical event, and the employer-sponsored health plan provided critical support. Think of the peace of mind knowing your retirement savings are actively growing, independent of a specific employer. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive foresight in establishing these crucial safety nets, whether employed or independent. One shift that accelerates progress is researching your options for health insurance outside of a corporate umbrella, like marketplace plans or private options. Your practical action today is to begin researching health insurance options and parallel retirement plans, such as a solo 401k or SEP IRA, that are available to independent professionals. Another factor that changes everything is understanding the tax advantages these independent plans offer, which can significantly boost your long-term wealth accumulation and skill stacking. This strategic planning ensures your career strategy is built on a foundation of enduring security. Take a moment to consider the value of your current employer-provided benefits and how you will replicate them. Foresight in benefits creates enduring stability. Plan for tomorrow. Live freely today. Now here's where the real shift begins in truly fortifying your financial foundation. Implementing tax optimization strategies to minimize your tax burden and maximize your savings. Many professionals discover they passively accept their tax obligations, viewing them as an unavoidable cost rather than a controllable variable. This oversight leads to unnecessary budget stress, significantly slows their runway building for job escape, and can even create negotiation mistakes by not accurately understanding their true net income. Savings don't just accumulate. Savings accelerate your financial freedoms. The first thing to grasp is that taxes often represent one of your largest annual expenses, and strategic planning can legally minimize this burden, directly boosting your effective income growth. Consider the profound difference a few percentage points of tax savings can make to your monthly cash flow, compounding over years. Think of the power this gives you, allowing you to direct more of your hard-earned money towards investments, skill stacking, or simply increasing your financial runway. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive and informed approach, moving beyond basic compliance to true optimization. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding the specific deductions and structures available to your current or future earning model. Whether as a W-2 employee maximizing retirement contributions, or a self-employed individual leveraging business expenses. For instance, a typical boss dynamic rarely includes advice on personal tax efficiency. Without this knowledge, you might make negotiation mistakes by focusing solely on gross salary, unaware of how much is eroded by inefficient tax practices. Another factor that changes everything is viewing a consultation with a qualified tax professional not as an expense, but as an investment. Your practical action today is to schedule a meeting with a tax professional who specializes in your income structure to optimize your strategy. Take a moment to consider how much more efficiently your current income could be working for you with optimized tax planning. Mastering your tax strategy is a fundamental pillar of building and sustaining true financial independence. Optimize your taxes, magnify your wealth. There's a deeper layer worth exploring beyond financial benefits and insurance: the vital protection of your intellectual property. Many professionals discover they pour countless hours into creating unique content, systems, or products, only to find them copied or repurposed without permission. This lack of legal safeguard directly undermines their earning power, creates significant client acquisition friction as trust is eroded, and can lead to immense budget stress defending their original work. Without protecting your intellectual property through copyrights or trademarks, you leave your most valuable creations vulnerable, slowing your income growth and delaying your job escape. Protection isn't just a legal formality. It secures your work and your future. The first thing to grasp is that your creative output, your unique methodologies, and your brand identity are often your most valuable assets. Consider a time when a new idea you shared was leveraged by someone else, or a design you created was used without credit. Think of the peace of mind knowing your unique market skills and innovative solutions are legally recognized as yours, giving you immense leverage in negotiations. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive and strategic approach to intellectual property. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding the difference between copyright and trademark, and identifying which applies to your work. Your practical action today is to assess your creations, your courses, unique coaching programs, branded names, or distinct processes, and research the steps for registration. Another factor that changes everything is integrating IP protection into your career strategy, making it clear to clients and collaborators that your original work is safeguarded. This not only builds a robust runway, but also asserts your authority and professional value. Take a moment to consider what unique creations or systems you've developed that could benefit from formal intellectual property protection. Safeguarding your intellectual property is an investment in your legacy and livelihood. Protect your genius, own your worth. With that foundation in place for protecting your intellectual property, we now move to another pivotal decision for anyone pursuing financial freedom through entrepreneurship or a robust side hustle: selecting the appropriate business structure for your venture. Many professionals discover they begin independent work as a sole proprietorship by default, unaware of the significant implications for personal liability and tax efficiency. This oversight can lead to immense budget stress, potential personal asset exposure, and a less optimized income growth pathway, fundamentally slowing their runway building for job escape. Structure isn't merely administrative. It profoundly impacts your liability and taxes. The first thing to grasp is that your business structure dictates the legal and financial boundaries between you and your enterprise. Consider a time when a small business owner faced a lawsuit, and their personal assets were at risk because they hadn't formed an LLC. Think of the peace of mind knowing that your hard-earned savings are separate from your business operations, allowing you to take calculated risks to enhance your market skills. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their proactive approach to setting up their ventures on a solid, protective foundation. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding the basic differences between common structures like a sole proprietorship, an LLC, or even an S-corp, and how each impacts your liability and tax burden. Your practical action today is to research these different business structures and begin the process of choosing the right one for your specific needs and growth trajectory. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that the right structure not only offers legal protection, but also enhances your credibility, potentially reducing client acquisition friction and strengthening your position in negotiations. Take a moment to consider the potential liability you currently face if your side hustle or independent work were to encounter a significant issue. The right structure provides a robust legal and financial framework for your entrepreneurial journey. Structure wisely, build securely. Chapter 10. Exit timing. Know when to leap. Consider Mark, an experienced software engineer, fed up with constant corporate reorganizations. One particularly frustrating Monday, he dramatically typed his resignation letter and walked out, fueled by anger and a vague dream of starting his own consultancy. He had some savings, but no concrete client pipeline, no health insurance plan, and hadn't truly grappled with the psychological shift from a steady paycheck. Within weeks, the initial euphoria gave way to intense budget stress. His network wasn't as robust as he'd assumed, and the constant pressure of client acquisition friction started to gnaw at his confidence. What he thought was a liberating leap quickly became a desperate scramble, and he soon found himself considering returning to a similar, if not worse, corporate grind, simply because he hadn't fully evaluated his readiness. Take a moment to consider how prepared you truly feel for such a significant transition right now. Many professionals discover they focus solely on the financial numbers when contemplating job escape, overlooking the equally critical emotional and psychological components. The first thing to grasp is that evaluating your financial and emotional readiness before leaving your job isn't about hesitation. It's about preparation that ensures a smooth, sustainable transition. Without this comprehensive assessment, you risk not just financial instability, but burnout cycles from the intensity of solo entrepreneurship, or potential negotiation mistakes from a place of desperation. Preparation isn't just about money. It truly ensures a smooth transition. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate, quantified assessment of both their financial runway and their mental fortitude. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a detailed readiness checklist that goes beyond your emergency fund to include elements like your support network, a clear understanding of your market skills, and a realistic appraisal of the emotional resilience required. Your practical action today is to honestly assess your financial readiness. Do you have enough runway? And your emotional readiness. How will you cope with uncertainty? Another factor that changes everything is treating this assessment as an integral part of your career strategy and exit planning, not a last-minute thought. The leap to freedom is best taken with both feet firmly grounded. Assess your readiness, empower your leap. With that foundation in place for evaluating your readiness, the next critical decision on your path to financial freedom is determining whether a gradual or immediate exit from your current job is best suited for your unique situation. Many professionals discover they either impulsively quit, leading to immense budget stress and risky transitions, or they procrastinate indefinitely, remaining stuck in burnout cycles. Without a deliberate choice and a clear plan, your exit risks becoming a chaotic scramble rather than a strategic transition. Planning isn't just about timing. It optimizes your entire timeline. The first thing to grasp is that there's no single right answer. The optimal path depends on your financial runway, your comfort with risk, and the nature of your side hustle or entrepreneurial venture. Consider a time when someone you knew either jumped too soon and struggled, or waited too long and missed an opportunity. Think of the strategic advantage of slowly building client momentum, testing new market skills, and accumulating a substantial financial buffer before fully severing ties. This gradual approach minimizes client acquisition friction and prevents negotiation mistakes born of desperation. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their calculated, well-structured approach to their career strategy and exit plannings. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a detailed, step-by-step transition plan. Your practical action today is to outline the key milestones for either a gradual wind-down, such as reducing hours or taking on fewer internal projects, or the specific conditions that must be met for an immediate, clean break. Another factor that changes everything is factoring in the opportunity cost of both scenarios. What are you gaining or losing by choosing one path over the other? This comprehensive planning ensures you're not just leaving a job, but consciously stepping into your next phase with leverage and foresight. Take a moment to consider the pros and cons of both immediate and gradual exits for your unique circumstances. A well-planned exit is a bridge to your future, not a leap of faith. Plan your transition, master your timing. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about crafting your transition plan. As you prepare for the leap to financial freedom, it's easy to focus solely on the tangible, money, skills, systems. However, a critical, often overlooked component is building a supportive network of mentors and allies to provide guidance and encouragement. Many professionals discover they try to navigate complex career transitions in isolation, leading to burnout cycles from decision fatigue or negotiation mistakes from a lack of informed perspective. This solitude can prolong client acquisition friction and severely hinder your income growth. Support isn't just a comfort. Support fuels resilience. The first thing to grasp is that no successful journey is undertaken entirely alone. Consider a time when a simple piece of advice from an experienced individual saved you immense time or prevented a costly error. Think of the invaluable leverage gained by learning from others, past experiences, navigating tricky boss dynamics, or understanding the nuances of new market skills. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate cultivation of relationships that offer strategic insight and emotional fortitude. One shift that accelerates progress is actively seeking out individuals who have successfully made the transition you envisioned or who operate in the sphere you aspire to enter. Your practical action today is to identify 3 potential mentors or allies, someone who has achieved what you desire, or someone who shares your journey, and consider how you might genuinely connect with them. Another factor that changes everything is moving beyond mere networking to actively seeking advice and offering value in return, fostering authentic relationships. This supportive network becomes an essential part of your runway building, providing both practical wisdom and psychological strength. Take a moment to consider who in your existing network might be a valuable resource or advocate for your goals. Your network is your net worth, amplified by wisdom and camaraderie. Build your tribe, bolster your courage. Now here's where the real shift begins, in executing your exit plan with precision, handling your resignation with professionalism and grace. After all your diligent work on financial readiness, skill stacking, and runway building, the final interaction with your current employer is not a moment for casual departure. Many professionals discover they let pent-up frustrations dictate their exit, burning bridges and damaging their professional reputation. This can lead to unforeseen challenges in client acquisition, hinder future negotiation leverage, and even impact income growth if references are needed down the line. Professionalism isn't just polite. It actively preserves your reputation, which is a key asset in your career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that the professional world is smaller than you think, and your reputation precedes you. Consider a time when a former colleague's abrupt or negative departure created lasting ripples within an industry. Think of the power of leaving on excellent terms, turning potential adversaries into allies or future clients. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their strategic foresight in maintaining strong relationships, even when moving on. One shift that accelerates progress is drafting a concise, positive, and professional resignation letter well in advance. Your practical action today is to draft a professional resignation letter that expresses gratitude for the opportunity, states your last day clearly, and avoids any negativity. Another factor that changes everything is offering to assist with the transition, whether it's documenting processes or training your replacement. This shows strong market skills and builds goodwill. This final act of professionalism ensures you conclude one chapter with integrity, paving a smoother path to your next venture without unnecessary budget stress or client acquisition friction. Take a moment to consider the lasting impression you want to leave with your current employer and colleagues. A graceful exit opens doors to future possibilities. Depart with respect. Build your legacy. Moving from theory into practice with your resignation, we now arrive at a pivotal moment often overlooked by those eager for job escape: negotiating your exit package. Many professionals discover they simply accept whatever their employer offers, leaving substantial value on the table. This passive approach can directly impact your financial runway, create unnecessary budget stress during your transition, and limit your ability to invest in skill stacking for your new venture. Negotiation isn't just for salary. Negotiation improves your overall outcome, maximizing your benefits, and securing a truly favorable departure. The first thing to grasp is that your departure often represents a cost to your employer, and there can be mutual benefit in a well-negotiated exit. Consider a time when a colleague secured an extended severance or continued health benefits that smoothed their transition, while another simply walked away with nothing. Think of the leverage you gain by understanding your market skills, value to the company, and what it would cost them to replace you. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to advocate for themselves at every stage, including their departure. One shift that accelerates progress is researching common exit package components before you ever tender your resignation. Your practical action today is to research common exit package components relevant to your industry and seniority, such as unused vacation payout, extended health benefits, severance, or even accelerated vesting of stock options. Another factor that changes everything is approaching this conversation not as a demand, but as a collaborative discussion aimed at a mutually beneficial agreement. This strategic negotiation not only maximizes your immediate financial gain, but also builds a more secure foundation for your financial freedom, reducing client acquisition friction as you transition. Take a moment to consider what specific elements of an exit package would most significantly benefit your personal runway. Negotiate your departure as strategically as you planned your arrival. Optimize your exit. Empower your launch. There's a deeper layer worth exploring after all the meticulous planning, skill stacking, and strategic execution leading up to your job escape. The crucial act of acknowledging and celebrating your achievement. Many professionals discover they immediately pivot to the next goal, pushing relentlessly forward without pausing to recognize the magnitude of what they've accomplished. This constant striving can lead to burnout cycles, diminishes the psychological return on their immense effort, and can create a sense of perpetual dissatisfaction, even after achieving freedom. Recognition isn't merely a feel-good exercise. It powerfully reinforces the positive behaviors and strategic choices that got you here, cementing your new career strategies. The first thing to grasp is that celebration is an integral part of your behavioral strategy, solidifying your new identity and preventing a return to old patterns. Consider a time when you put immense effort into a project, only to have its completion go unacknowledged, leaving you feeling deflated. Think of the psychological leverage gained by consciously marking this transition, validating your hard work, and reinforcing your autonomy. What separates consistent earners and truly free individuals from the rest is their deliberate integration of achievement and appreciations. One shift that accelerates progress is moving beyond a fleeting moment of relief to a planned, meaningful acknowledgement. Your practical action today is to plan a specific celebration to acknowledge your accomplishment of escaping the 9-to-5 grind. This could be anything from a quiet, reflective moment to a larger gathering, but it must be intentional. Another factor that changes everything is using this celebration as an anchor point, a mental reference for the power of your skill stacking and the success of your exit planning. This proactive embrace of your milestone is a vital component of sustainable income growth and long-term financial freedom, reducing future budget stress. Take a moment to envision your ideal way to truly celebrate this hard-won freedom. This deliberate act of recognition is not an indulgence, but an investment in your sustained motivation and future success. Celebrate the milestone, embrace the momentum. Chapter 11. Mindset Resets. Build Resilience. Consider Lena, a skilled graphic designer trapped in a 9-to-5 with a clear salary ceiling. She'd meticulously built her portfolio, invested in skill stacking, and even had a few small, paying freelance clients. One day, a former colleague approached her with a substantial project that would significantly accelerate her runway building and offer true job escape potential. The catch? It demanded a higher rate than she'd ever charged, and required her to present her value directly to a high-profile client. Lena felt a familiar surge of self-doubt. Am I truly ready for this level of responsibility? What if I fail? They'll see right through me. Despite her undeniable market skills, that inner voice of fear and uncertainty led her to hesitate, to consider underbidding, and almost to decline the opportunity entirely, simply because her mindset was holding her captive, not her capability. Take a moment to recall a specific instance where an inner doubt held you back from a significant opportunity. Many professionals discover that even with all the right strategies and skills, an unaddressed mindset can become the ultimate bottleneck to financial freedom. The first thing to grasp is that developing robust mindset strategies to overcome fear and self-doubt isn't a soft skill. It's a foundational pillar of your career strategy. Without it, you'll constantly face burnout cycles from internal friction, make negotiation mistakes by undervaluing your work, and experience client acquisition friction born from hesitation. Confidence isn't just a feeling. Confidence empowers you to take decisive action. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate process of identifying and challenging their limiting beliefs. One shift that accelerates progress is to consciously identify these specific thoughts or narratives that hold you back. Write them down. Another factor that changes everything is actively challenging these beliefs with objective evidence. Think of all the times you've overcome a challenge, successfully delivered a project, or acquired a new skill. Your practical action today is to pinpoint one limiting belief you hold about your earning potential or ability to escape the 9-to-5, and list 3 pieces of factual evidence that contradict it. Your internal game determines your external gains. Challenge your limits, unlock your potential. This insight naturally leads us forward into another crucial mindset reset. While challenging self-doubt is vital, equally important is learning how to navigate setbacks by reframing failure as a valuable learning opportunity to foster true resilience. Many professionals discover they let a single misstep or a project that didn't quite land derail their entire career strategy, leading to prolonged burnout cycles and hesitation to pursue new income growth opportunities. This fear of imperfection creates significant client acquisition friction and can freeze crucial skill stacking efforts. Without the ability to extract wisdom from missteps, your runway building for job escape will feel riddled with insurmountable obstacles. Growth doesn't just happen. Growth stems directly from experience. The first thing to grasp is that every successful entrepreneur or financially free individual has a graveyard of failed attempts behind them. Consider a time when a negotiation didn't go your way, or a new product launch fell flat. Think of the initial sting, followed by the clarity that often emerges when you truly dissect why something didn't work. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to treat these moments not as personal indictments, but as data points. They understand that a failed client pitch isn't a dead end. It's feedback on their market skills or proposal approach. One shift that accelerates progress is establishing a brief, objective, post-mortem process for any significant setback. Your practical action today is to recall a past failure related to your career or side hustle, and instead of dwelling on the negative, list 3 specific, actionable lessons you gained from it. Another factor that changes everything is cultivating a mindset that values experimentation over guaranteed success. This perspective allows you to take more calculated risks, knowing that even a less than ideal outcome will still contribute to your growth and refine your exit planning. Take a moment to consider how reframing a past setback could alter your perspective today. Embrace the lessons in every outcome, and your path forward becomes clearer, stronger, and more confident. Fail forward, grow stronger. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about reframing failure. To truly thrive on the path to financial freedom and job escape, you must actively cultivate a growth mindset, one that embraces challenges and persists through setbacks. Many professionals discover they unconsciously operate from a fixed mindset, believing their abilities are static. This leads to avoiding new market skills, fearing ambitious client acquisition, and retreating from negotiation opportunities that could dramatically boost their income growth. When faced with a challenging boss dynamic, or a project with a steep learning curve, a fixed mindset often says, "I can't." This creates burnout cycles and prevents meaningful runway building. Adaptability isn't just an asset. Adaptability drives consistent success. The first thing to grasp is that your brain is capable of continuous growth and learning, regardless of age or past experience. Consider a time when you mastered a complex skill you initially thought was beyond you, through sheer effort and persistence. Think of the freedom that comes from viewing every obstacle not as a barrier, but as a chance to strengthen your problem-solving abilities and expand your career strategy. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering belief in their capacity to evolve. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously seeking out challenging opportunities, even if they initially feel daunting. Your practical action today is to identify one new skill or project you've been hesitant to pursue, and commit to taking a first, small step towards it, viewing it as a learning experiment. Another factor that changes everything is replacing "I can't do this" with "I can't do this times yet," acknowledging the power of effort and ongoing skill stacking. This simple linguistic shift fosters a mindset that relentlessly pursues solutions, making setbacks temporary detours rather than roadblocks. Take a moment to consider one area where adopting a not yet mindset could unlock new possibilities for you. Embrace every challenge as an opportunity to grow, and your potential becomes limitless. Grow your mind, expand your world. Now here's where the real shift begins in harnessing your inner world for external gains. Utilizing visualization techniques to clearly imagine your success and powerfully reinforce your goals. Many professionals discover they intellectualize their desires for financial freedom, but rarely feel-time them. This lack of emotional connection can lead to inconsistent effort, client acquisition friction when motivation wanes, and negotiation mistakes born from a weak internal resolve. Without vivid internal clarity, your energy scatters, making runway building feel like an uphill battle. Clarity doesn't just inform. Clarity actively focuses your energy. The first thing to grasp is that your brain doesn't always distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. Consider a time when you vividly anticipated an event, and your emotions reflected that future experience. Think of the powerful leverage professional athletes and top performers use by mentally rehearsing their success, conditioning their minds for peak performance. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate practice of programming their minds for achievement, not just passively hoping for it. One shift that accelerates progress is dedicating a few minutes each day to truly immerse yourself in the feeling of your achieved goals. Your practical action today is to visualize your desired outcome. Perhaps the freedom of your first day after job escape, the joy of a fully funded financial runway, or the satisfaction of a successfully launched new venture. Feel the emotions associated with it. The relief, the pride, the expanded possibilities. Another factor that changes everything is connecting this feeling to the specific actions you need to take. Whether it's investing in new market skills or refining your career strategies. This mental rehearsal aligns your subconscious with your conscious ambitions, driving more consistent and focused effort. Take a moment to truly feel the emotions of a significant future success, as if it's happening right now. Consistent visualization sculpts your reality from the inside out, empowering every step you take. See your success, then seize it. With that foundation in place for harnessing visualization, let's explore another powerful mindset reset: the intentional practice of gratitude. Many professionals discover they become so fixated on future goals, the next income growth target, the final sprint to job escape, that they fail to appreciate their current progress and the resources already at their disposal. This can lead to persistent burnout cycles, unnecessary budget stress, and a diminished sense of fulfillment, even as they build their financial runway. Without gratitude, the journey risks becoming an endless pursuit rather than a fulfilling evolution. Positivity doesn't just feel good. Positivity actively attracts success. The first thing to grasp is that gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, altering your energetic output. Consider a time when a small win or unexpected kindness significantly uplifted your spirits and renewed your motivation. Think of the powerful leverage you gain by appreciating your unique market skills, the supportive relationships you've built, or the lessons learned from past negotiation mistakes. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to find appreciation in both the monumental and the mundane, maintaining a resilient and magnetic outlook. One shift that accelerates progress is establishing a consistent gratitude practice. Your practical action today is to keep a simple gratitude journal and, each morning or evening, write down 3 to 5 specific things you are genuinely thankful for, related to your career strategy, skill stacking, or personal life. Another factor that changes everything is observing how this practice can dissolve client acquisition friction by making you a more attractive and positive presence. This regular acknowledgement of progress, however small, reinforces your belief in your path, making the journey to financial freedom not just achievable, but genuinely enjoyable. Take a moment to bring to mind 3 things you are truly grateful for in your journey right now. Gratitude illuminates your path, strengthens your resolve, and amplifies your results. Appreciate your journey, accelerate your destination. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about the power of gratitude. To truly inoculate your journey to financial freedom against the inevitable challenges, you must develop practical resilience loops to bounce back from setbacks and maintain momentum. Many professionals discover they react to difficulties on the fly, allowing unexpected client acquisition friction or a temporary dip in income growth to create immense budget stress and stall their entire runway building. This reactive approach leads to prolonged burnout cycles and often results in abandoning strategic plans. Adaptability isn't merely a desirable trait. Adaptability ensures your long-term success. The first thing to grasp is that setbacks are not a sign of failure, but an unavoidable part of any ambitious endeavor. Consider a time when a new venture didn't take off as planned, or a negotiation mistake felt like a major defeat. Think of the emotional and practical drain that occurs when you lack a pre-planned strategy for these moments. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to not just cope with setbacks, but to have a clear process for recovery and forward movement. One shift that accelerates progress is proactively developing a personalized recovery protocol for when things inevitably go wrong. Your practical action today is to develop a plan for coping with setbacks. Identify specific actions you will take, whether it's reviewing your strategy with a mentor, taking a planned break, or reevaluating your market skills. This premeditated response reduces emotional overwhelm. Another factor that changes everything is integrating these resilience loops into your ongoing career strategy, treating them as essential skill stacking for mental toughness. By doing so, you transform potential showstoppers into mere detours on your path to job escape. Take a moment to consider one specific type of setback you might face and how you would apply this protocol. By building these proactive resilience loops, you transform potential failures into mere detours on your path to lasting financial freedom. Anticipate the challenge. Embrace the bounce. Chapter 12. Income Stacking. Multiple Streams. Consider Sarah, a marketing executive who had built a comfortable career over 15 years. Her salary was steady, but she harbored a quiet dream of early retirement and more creative control. She was exceptional at her job, yet the company's increasing internal politics were draining her energy. Then, unexpectedly, her entire department was restructured, and her role eliminated. With only one income source, her meticulously built financial runway felt like it evaporated overnight. The immediate budget stress was immense. Despite her strong market skills, she realized she had inadvertently placed all her financial eggs in one basket, leaving her acutely vulnerable to external forces beyond her control. The fear of starting over, coupled with the urgent need to replace her income, created a suffocating pressure, turning her dream of freedom into a desperate scramble. She wished she had spent those years building additional, even small, income streams to cushion the blow and give her genuine options beyond a panicked job hunt. Take a moment to consider how reliant your current financial structure is on a single source of income. This insight naturally leads us forward to the core principle of this chapter. Diversifying income streams reduces risk and provides genuine financial stability. Many professionals discover they unconsciously cling to the perceived safety of a single paycheck, failing to recognize its inherent fragility. This oversight exposes them to salary ceilings, sudden job loss, and burnout cycles driven by a lack of choice. Security doesn't just happen. Security stems directly from optionality. The first thing to grasp is that multiple income streams are not about working harder, but about working smarter with your existing market skills and knowledge. Think of the powerful leverage you gain in negotiation when you're not solely dependent on one employer, or the immense relief that comes from knowing a temporary dip in one client acquisition channel won't trigger budget stress. Your practical action today is to list the concrete benefits of diversifying your income for your specific career strategy and job escape goals. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that each additional stream acts as a buffer, accelerating your runway building and providing true freedom from corporate boss dynamics. Diversification transforms vulnerability into robust financial freedom. Stack your income, secure your future. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about the power of income diversification. The next crucial step in your income stacking strategy is to actively seek out opportunities that truly complement your existing skills and interests. Many professionals discover they attempt to add completely disparate side hustles, which quickly leads to burnout cycles and immense budget stress due to fragmented effort and slow progress. Without leveraging what you already do well, building additional income streams can feel like starting from scratch every time, hindering true income growth and delaying your job escape. Synergy isn't just a concept. Synergy actively maximizes your efficiency. The first thing to grasp is that your most valuable assets for income stacking are often your current market skills and professional experience. Consider a time when a specific skill you possessed could have easily solved someone else's problem outside your primary job. Think of a software developer creating a paid course on a niche coding language they use daily, or a marketing strategist offering one-on-one consulting to small businesses. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to identify these overlaps and monetize them. building a robust runway without feeling overwhelmed. One shift that accelerates progress is making a comprehensive list of your core competencies and identifying how they might translate into a product, service, or content offering. Your practical action today is to list 3 potential income streams that directly align with your current skills and passions, ensuring each one leverages your existing expertise. Another factor that changes everything is prioritizing opportunities that require minimal new skill stacking initially, allowing you to gain traction and validation quickly. This strategic alignment minimizes client acquisition friction and prevents negotiation mistakes that stem from a lack of confidence in a new, unfamiliar area. Take a moment to identify how your daily job tasks or hobbies could be packaged into a valuable offering. By building on your strengths, each new income stream becomes a natural extension of your expertise. Leverage your skills, amplify your earnings. Moving from theory into practice with leveraging your existing skills. Let's now explore a powerful pathway to true job escape. Cultivating passive income strategies to generate revenue without direct, active involvement. Many professionals discover they trade time for money in every single income stream, leading to perpetual burnout cycles and a ceiling on their income growth. Without sources that continue to earn while you sleep, your financial runway can only extend so far, and genuine freedom remains elusive. Automation isn't just a convenience. Automation actively frees up your time, providing true leverage. The first thing to grasp is that passive doesn't mean no work ever. It means concentrated effort up front to build a system that then generates ongoing income. Consider a time when someone you know launched a digital product or an affiliate website that, after the initial build, continued to provide a steady income. Think of the immense flexibility and reduced budget stress that comes from having money flow in, even when you're focusing on skill stacking, client acquisition, or even taking a much-needed break from boss dynamics. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their strategic focus on creating assets that compound their time and effort. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying opportunities where your expertise can be packaged and sold repeatedly. Your practical action today is to research passive income opportunities, such as affiliate marketing, digital products like ebooks or online courses, or even well-placed advertising on content you create. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that these streams contribute significantly to your runway building, allowing you to transition from active work without a drastic drop in income. This strategic foresight transforms your career strategy into a truly scalable model. Take a moment to consider how you could package your knowledge or recommendations into a passive offering. Build once, earn repeatedly. That is the essence of true financial freedom. Automate your income, amplify your life. Moving from theory into practice with building passive income, let's now focus on leveraging active income streams like freelancing and consulting to immediately supplement your income. Many professionals discover they either dismiss active side hustles as more work, or they wait for the perfect passive opportunity to materialize, which can delay their job escape indefinitely. Without actively generating additional revenue, your financial runway building slows, making you more vulnerable to salary ceilings or unexpected budget stress. Action isn't just a strategy. Action generates tangible revenue that fuels your progress. The first thing to grasp is that active income streams provide immediate cash flow and invaluable experience, directly enhancing your market skills and increasing your earning power. Consider a time when a specific skill you possessed could have easily solved someone else's problem, yet you never offered it. Think of a copywriter landing small projects on weekends, or a data analyst offering consulting to local businesses. This direct engagement builds confidence in your negotiation skills and reduces client acquisition friction for your future ventures. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to actively engage the market, test their value, and earn. One shift that accelerates progress is identifying specific, high-demand skills you already possess that can be monetized quickly. Your practical action today is to sign up for a reputable freelancing platform and bid on at least one project that aligns with your current expertise. Another factor that changes everything is prioritizing direct client work that helps you refine your offering and understand market needs, rather than chasing purely speculative projects. This focused effort not only supplements your income, but also serves as powerful skill stacking, preparing you for a seamless transition away from traditional boss dynamics. Take a moment to consider what immediate skills you possess that could generate revenue right now. Active income provides the crucial fuel and immediate validation needed to build your bridge to lasting financial freedom. Take action, Build momentum. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about leveraging active income streams. To truly accelerate your path to financial freedom and job escape, a critical component is to invest in assets that actively generate income for you, such as dividend stocks or rental properties. Many professionals discover they focus solely on trading their time for money, either through a job or freelancing, and neglect the immense power of having their capital work for them. This omission leaves them vulnerable to salary ceilings, prolongs their runway building, and creates unnecessary budget stress. Investments aren't just about growth. Investments actively create wealth and provide an additional layer of security to your career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that your money can and should be an employee, working around the clock. Consider a time when a small investment or saving automatically generated a return, even a modest one. Think of the powerful leverage gained when dividend stocks pay you quarterly, or a rental property produces consistent cash flow, offsetting your monthly expenses without active client acquisition friction. This significantly reduces your reliance on selling your time, enhancing your negotiation power, and bringing you closer to true job escape. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their understanding that assets, properly managed, are income machines. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from consumption to intentional investment in income-generating assets. Your practical action today is to begin researching reliable dividend stocks or explore the fundamentals of real estate investment options, understanding how they could contribute to your income growth. Another factor that changes everything is to start small and consistently, allowing the power of compounding to build your financial runway over time. This strategic approach to investing is a direct path to securing a favorable departure, not just from your current job, but from the constant hustle. Take a moment to consider how even a small amount of money, put to work, could change your financial outlook over time. Allow your capital to become a consistent earner, building the foundation of your enduring freedom. Invest for income, secure your future. With that foundation in place for income stacking, the next critical challenge isn't just generating multiple income streams, but effectively optimizing your time and resources to manage them all. Many professionals discover they become overwhelmed trying to juggle a primary job, a freelance gig, a digital product, and investments, leading directly to burnout cycles and stalled income growth. Without a clear system, these multiple streams can become a source of budget stress and client acquisition friction, rather than accelerated runway building. Efficiency isn't just about speed. Efficiency actively boosts your profitability and sustains your job escape. The first thing to grasp is that managing diverse income streams is a skill unto itself, requiring deliberate attention. Consider a time when you attempted to multitask too many important projects at once, and the quality of each suffered. Think of the powerful leverage gained when you systematically allocate focused time to each venture, allowing it to flourish without cannibalizing another. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to treat their time as their most valuable asset, meticulously directing it towards maximum return across their portfolio of earnings. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously scheduling dedicated, uninterrupted time for each income stream. Your practical action today is to block out specific, non-negotiable time slots in your calendar for your various income-generating activities. Perhaps an hour for client outreach, 90 minutes for digital product development, or 30 minutes for investment research. Another factor that changes everything is periodically auditing these time allocations to ensure they align with your overall career strategy and income growth targets, adjusting as your market skills evolve or your exit planning shifts. This disciplined approach ensures sustained momentum and reduces the risk of negotiation mistakes or missed opportunities due to disorganization. Take a moment to consider how structuring your time could transform your current productivity. Mastering the orchestration of your income streams transforms potential chaos into leveraged growth. Schedule your focus. Amplify your freedom. Chapter 13. Launch Plan. 30, 60, 90th day milestones. Consider Alex, a talented web developer who finally left his stifling 9-to-5 with a decent financial runway. He had skills stacked and even secured a couple of initial clients. But without a clear, phased plan for his first few months, he found himself adrift. One week he was networking frantically, the next he was caught up in administrative tasks, and then he'd spend days overanalyzing his client acquisition strategy. This lack of direction led to missed deadlines, inconsistent income growth, and unnecessary budget stress. He quickly felt overwhelmed, staring at an empty calendar that should have been filled with purposeful action. The initial excitement of job escape quickly gave way to anxiety, simply because he hadn't translated his big vision into manageable, realistic, short-term milestones. Take a moment to consider if you've ever felt overwhelmed by a large goal due to a lack of defined steps. This insight naturally leads us forward to establishing realistic goals for your 30-60-90th day launch plan, a critical blueprint for your post-job escape success. Many professionals discover they either set vague, aspirational targets or meticulously detailed plans that quickly fall apart under real-world conditions. This leads to burnout cycles from chasing ill-defined objectives and negotiation mistakes when they can't articulate their value with confidence. Without clear, actionable milestones, your immense efforts in runway building and skill stacking can dissipate into unfocused activity. Clarity doesn't just inform. Clarity actively provides direction and keeps your career strategy on course. The first thing to grasp is that the first 30 days post-escape are about immediate traction and validation. Think of a pilot making small, precise adjustments immediately after takeoff. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to define clear, measurable wins for this initial period. Your practical action today is to define 3 specific, realistic goals for your 30-day milestone. These should be focused on generating initial income, refining your market skills in a real-world context, or solidifying your client acquisition process. Another factor that changes everything is ensuring these goals are designed to build confidence and generate early momentum rather than aiming for perfection. Your initial steps are not just actions, they are powerful affirmations of your new path. Define your beginning, then build from there. This insight naturally leads us forward into outlining the immediate actions to take within the first 30 days to gain crucial momentum. Many professionals discover they intellectualize their goals without breaking them down into concrete, daily steps. This often results in paralysis by analysis, a feeling of being constantly busy without real progress, and unnecessary budget stress due to delayed income growth. Without intentional, actionable steps, the excitement of job escape can quickly fade into overwhelm, hindering effective runway building. Momentum isn't just about speed. Momentum actively fosters consistent progress. The first thing to grasp is that small, consistent actions create an unstoppable force. Think of the powerful effect of a daily client outreach effort, even if it's just one person, versus a sporadic, intense burst every few weeks. Consider a time when a specific, tiny habit led to significant long-term results in your skill stacking or career strategy. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering commitment to daily, visible progress. One shift that accelerates progress is focusing on high-impact activities that directly contribute to your 30-day goals. Your practical action today is to list 5 specific, immediate actions you will take in the next 30 days. These could include setting up a professional website, reaching out to 3 potential clients, completing a key market skills certification, or drafting your first service agreement. Another factor that changes everything is prioritizing actions that generate early wins or valuable feedback, even if they feel small. This continuous feedback loop helps refine your approach, minimizes client acquisition friction, and builds confidence in your negotiation abilities. Take a moment to identify one small, actionable step you can take today to build momentum towards your goals. Your early actions lay the foundation for your long-term success and freedom. Act decisively. Build relentlessly. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about gaining momentum in your first 30 days. As you progress, a crucial step in your launch plan is to measure your progress after 60 days and, critically, adjust your strategy as needed. Many professionals discover they either rigidly stick to their initial plan, even when it's clearly not working, or they abandon it entirely at the first sign of trouble. This lack of dynamic adaptation leads to prolonged burnout cycles, unnecessary budget stress, and a stalled runway building process. Without the agility to pivot, your career strategy can quickly become obsolete, hindering true income growth and job escape. Adaptability isn't just a desirable trait. Adaptability actively ensures long-term success. The first thing to grasp is that your initial plan is a hypothesis, not a sacred text. Consider a time when a specific approach to a problem wasn't yielding results, and a simple pivot transformed the outcome. Think of the powerful leverage gained by a business that constantly refines its client acquisition strategy based on real-world feedback, rather than blindly repeating ineffective tactics. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity for continuous, data-driven optimization. One shift that accelerates progress is establishing a dedicated review process at the 60-day mark. Your practical action today is to honestly review your 60-day progress against your initial goals. Identify what worked, what didn't, and why. Then, make specific adjustments to your plan for the next phase. Another factor that changes everything is to pay close attention to market feedback on your skills, the effectiveness of your negotiation tactics, and any unexpected boss dynamics you might encounter in your new ventures. This iterative process of review and adjustment is fundamental to refining your offerings and ensuring your financial runway remains on track for job escape. Take a moment to identify one area of your life or career where a recent adjustment led to a better outcome. Your ability to adapt and refine your strategy is your most powerful tool for enduring success. Review, refine, rise. Let's build directly on the importance of adapting your strategy at the 60-day mark. The culmination of your initial effort comes at the 90-day milestone, where you review your comprehensive progress, celebrate your significant achievements, and iterate your approach for the long term. Many professionals discover they relentlessly pursue the next objective without pausing to acknowledge how far they've come. This perpetual forward lean can lead to burnout cycles, a diminished sense of accomplishment, and an inability to truly appreciate the value of their skill stacking and runway building. Without recognizing your wins, internal motivation wanes, making the journey to job escape feel endless. Recognition isn't just a reward. Recognition actively reinforces growth. The first thing to grasp is that celebrating milestones is a powerful psychological tool that reinforces positive behavior and increases your resilience. Consider a time when a personal achievement, formally acknowledged, fueled your drive for the next challenge. Think of the powerful leverage gained when you celebrate closing a significant client acquisition, successfully negotiating a higher rate, or achieving a key income growth target. This positive feedback loop strengthens your belief in your career strategy and your ability to navigate future boss dynamics. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate practice of appreciating their own journey. One shift that accelerates progress is making celebration a non-negotiable part of your 90-day review. Your practical action today is to review your 90-day results, list all your accomplishments, big and small, and plan a meaningful way to celebrate them. This could be a special meal, a weekend getaway, or simply taking an afternoon to reflect. Another factor that changes everything is using this review not just for celebration, but also for a holistic evaluation of your market skills and exit planning, setting the stage for the next quarter. Take a moment to recall a recent achievement you celebrated and how that made you feel. Celebrate your journey, for every step forward is a victory on your path to financial freedom. Acknowledge your wins, fuel your future. Now here's where the real shift begins in making your launch plan truly effective. Implementing a robust system to track key performance indicators, or KPIs, to monitor your progress and identify precise areas for improvement. Many professionals discover they operate on gut feeling, vaguely aware of their income growth but lacking specific metrics to guide their decisions. This often leads to wasted effort, client acquisition friction that goes unaddressed, and negotiation mistakes because they can't quantitatively demonstrate their value. Without data, your runway building becomes a guessing game, and achieving financial freedom remains a hope, not a certainty. Data doesn't just inform. Data actively drives smart decisions. The first thing to grasp is that what gets measured gets managed. Consider a time when a simple metric, like tracking your daily steps, dramatically altered your behavior and results. Think of the powerful leverage gained by a business that precisely measures conversion rates on its marketing efforts, allowing for targeted adjustments that boost profitability. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their analytical approach to their own career strategy, treating their ventures like a business with clear benchmarks. One shift that accelerates progress is moving beyond general income targets to specific, actionable metrics. Your practical action today is to identify 3 KPIs to track your progress. These could include the number of qualified leads generated per week, your average client acquisition cost, your hourly effective rate for freelance work, or the conversion rate of your sales calls. Another factor that changes everything is reviewing these KPIs regularly, weekly or bi-weekly, to spot trends, pinpoint skill stacking deficiencies, and make timely adjustments to your exit planning. This proactive data analysis eliminates guesswork and ensures your actions are always aligned with your goals. Take a moment to consider how tracking a specific metric could clarify your current progress toward a goal. With clear KPIs, your path to financial freedom is illuminated, allowing for precise adjustments and unstoppable growth. Measure your metrics, master your destiny. Let's build directly on the power of tracking your key performance indicators. While data provides direction, the human element of your launch plan is equally vital. Connecting with accountability partners to stay on track and maintain motivation through every phase. Many professionals discover they try to navigate the path to financial freedom in isolation, leading to burnout cycles when challenges arise, and a diminished sense of progress without external validation. This lack of consistent support can make even successful runway building feel arduous, and the thought of job escape daunting. Support isn't just encouraging. Support actively enhances adherence to your plan and accelerates income growth. The first thing to grasp is that a trusted accountability partner provides an external check-in system and invaluable perspective. Consider a time when you had a shared goal with someone, and their encouragement or expectation pushed you further than you would have gone alone. Think of the powerful leverage gained when you discuss client acquisition friction or negotiation mistakes with someone who understands your career strategy, offering fresh insights and bolstering your resolve. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their willingness to leverage social support to reinforce their skill stacking and overcome mental roadblocks. One shift that accelerates progress is actively seeking out a compatible accountability partner. Your practical action today is to connect with someone, a fellow entrepreneur, a trusted mentor, or a peer on a similar path, and establish a regular check-in schedule to discuss your progress, challenges, and next steps. Another factor that changes everything is setting clear expectations for these interactions, focusing on constructive feedback and shared goal progression rather than just commiseration. This structured support system reduces budget stress by keeping you focused on income-generating activities and sharpens your overall exit planning. Take a moment to consider who in your network might be a great accountability partner for your current goals. With a strong accountability partner, you transform isolation into shared momentum, making every milestone more achievable. Share your journey, amplify your success. Chapter 14. Conclusion. Your freedom awaits. Think of Maria, who, just 18 months ago, was trapped. Her corporate salary, while decent, felt like a golden handcuff. She watched colleagues get downsized, felt the constant pressure of boss dynamics, and worried endlessly about her financial future. But Maria diligently absorbed these principles. She started skill stacking in the evenings, built a robust financial runway with ruthless efficiency, and identified her core value. When the day finally came to submit her resignation, there was no panic, only calm certainty. Today, Maria runs her own consulting firm, choosing her clients, setting her hours, and experiencing an income growth she never thought possible. She looks out her window, not at cubicle walls, but at a life designed by her, for her. Her initial fear of job escape has been replaced by the quiet confidence of true optionality. This transformation wasn't magic. It was the result of a deliberate, strategic execution of the very frameworks we've discussed. Take a moment to truly internalize what a life of intentional design could mean for you. This insight naturally leads us to briefly review the core journey we've undertaken. We began by confronting the limiting beliefs that hold so many professionals hostage. Understanding that a resilient mindset is the bedrock of any successful career strategy. One shift that accelerates progress is recognizing that your internal state dictates your external results. From confident negotiation to effective client acquisition. We then move to the pragmatic steps of building your financial runway and strategically acquiring new market skills, transforming mere effort into genuine earning power, and reducing budget stress. The first thing to grasp is that true security comes not from a job, but from a diversified portfolio of skills and capital. We then explored the critical path of income stacking, moving beyond the single paycheck into a world of multiple streams, active, passive, and investment-driven, ensuring consistent income growth. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their deliberate creation of assets that work for them. Finally, we crafted a meticulous launch plan with 30, 60, and 90-day milestones, emphasizing data-driven decisions and vital accountability to navigate your transition with unwavering confidence. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that clarity in your exit planning removes anxiety and replaces it with purposeful action, transforming your desire for job escape into tangible reality. Your freedom isn't a distant dream. It is the inevitable outcome of focused preparation and persistent action. Design your life, live your legacy. Let's build directly on what we've reviewed regarding your strategic pathway to financial freedom. The critical next step, and the true bridge between knowledge and transformation, is to create a deeply personalized action plan based on the strategies discussed throughout this audiobook. Many professionals discover they become adept at consuming information, but fall short when it comes to translating that insight into concrete, sequential steps. This often leads to continued frustration, persistent budget stress from stalled income growth, and a feeling that despite all the learning, the dream of job escape remains out of reach. Planning doesn't just outline. Planning sets the definitive stage for decisive action, leveraging all your skill stacking and runway building. The first thing to grasp is that this plan is your custom blueprint, designed specifically for your unique market skills, current career strategy, and personal timeline. Consider a time when you had a complex project at work, and the only way to tackle it was to break it down into manageable tasks. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering commitment to defining explicit next steps, rather than merely holding a general intention. Without this specificity, your efforts can easily become scattered, leading to client acquisition friction and missed opportunities for income growth. One shift that accelerates progress is transforming every key strategy into a list of specific, achievable action steps. Your practical action today is to begin creating this list, organizing it into immediate, short-term, and ongoing tasks. Another factor that changes everything is to integrate metrics for tracking your progress on these steps, aligning them with your exit planning and any negotiation strategies you'll employ. This hands-on process solidifies your commitment, clarifies your path, and ensures you're proactively building your desired future, rather than passively waiting for it. Take a moment to identify one specific insight from this audiobook you are ready to implement immediately. A well-defined action plan is your unwavering compass on the journey to ultimate financial freedom. Plan your work, work your plan. Let's build directly on your personalized action plan by outlining a clear 30-60-90th day blueprint for implementing your job escape strategy. Many professionals discover they construct a detailed plan, but fail to segment it into actionable phases, leading to overwhelm and a feeling of constant pressure. This often stalls crucial runway building, creates unnecessary budget stress, and diminishes confidence in their career strategy. Without a structured timeline, your grand vision can remain just that, a vision, hindering actual income growth and making job escape feel perpetually out of reach. A well-defined timeline doesn't just manage tasks. A timeline actively structures your entire journey, providing clarity and momentum. The first thing to grasp is that each 30-day increment serves a distinct purpose, building logically on the last. Consider a time when you had a multi-stage project, and tackling it phase by phase made it far more achievable. Think of the powerful leverage gained when your first 30 days are dedicated to validating your market skills and securing initial client acquisition, reducing negotiation mistakes stemming from uncertainties. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to break down an ambitious transition into manageable, sequential sprints. One shift that accelerates progress is to clearly detail your action steps for each distinct period. For the next 30 days, focus on core setup, solidifying your offerings, launching a basic online presence, and engaging your first 3 potential clients. For the 60-day mark, transition to refining your processes, gathering feedback, and optimizing your initial income streams. By the 90-day point, you should be focused on scaling what works, expanding your outreach, and formalizing your exit planning from existing boss dynamics. Another factor that changes everything is to embed regular review points within this timeline, allowing you to adapt quickly to real-world feedback and maintain consistent income growth. Take a moment to identify one key action you would prioritize in your very first 30 days. A phased strategy transforms your aspiration into an executable pathway to lasting financial freedom. Map your journey. Claim your freedom. Let's build directly on your 30-60-90th day launch plan. To truly accelerate your progress and make your job escape strategy efficient, it's imperative to leverage the specific resources and tools mentioned throughout this audiobook. Many professionals discover they try to reinvent the wheel, spending countless hours on tasks that readily available tools could automate or simplify. This often leads to unnecessary burnout cycles, budget stress from inefficient operations, and stalled income growth because their efforts are not optimally channeled. Without the right support, your diligent skill stacking and runway building can be undermined by operational friction. Resources don't just help. Resources actively amplify your effort and make the journey to financial freedom smoother. The first thing to grasp is that smart leverage of tools saves you time, money, and mental energy. Consider a time when a simple software solution or a specific guide significantly reduced your workload, or clarified a complex problem. Think of the powerful leverage gained by using project management software to track client acquisition, a budget app to manage your runway, or online courses to rapidly upgrade your market skills. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their strategic deployment of aids that enhance their efficiency and effectiveness. One shift that accelerates progress is moving from a DIY mindset to a leveraged execution mindset. Your practical action today is to review the resources mentioned throughout this audiobook, identifying at least 2 that directly support your current action steps. Perhaps a freelancing platform, a financial tracking app, or a skill-building course. Another factor that changes everything is integrating these tools systematically into your daily workflow, ensuring they reduce friction rather than add complexity. This strategic embrace of external support minimizes negotiation mistakes and allows you to focus on high-value activities, moving you closer to true job escape from current boss dynamics. Take a moment to identify one resource you could implement today to simplify a task. Equip yourself with the right tools, and you transform your effort into amplified, strategic progress. Leverage your resources, accelerate your ascent. There's a deeper layer worth exploring as we conclude our journey: the profound importance of embracing the adventure of pursuing financial freedom and designing your ideal career. Many professionals discover they approach this monumental shift with an underlying current of fear or anxiety, viewing it as a daunting risk rather than an exciting exploration. This negative framing can lead to hesitation in client acquisition, stifle genuine income growth, and make every challenge, from budget stress to navigating boss dynamics, feel insurmountable. Positivity isn't just a pleasant emotion. Positivity actively fuels your momentum and resilience. The first thing to grasp is that your mindset is your most powerful tool. Consider a time when a change you initially feared ultimately led to your greatest growth or skill stacking. Think of the powerful leverage gained when you view a negotiation mistake not as a failure, but as a data point for learning and refining your market skills. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering commitment to an optimistic yet grounded perspective, recognizing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. One shift that accelerates progress is consciously committing to ongoing learning and relentless adaptation. Your practical action today is to cultivate a deep curiosity about market trends, new technologies, and evolving client needs, making continuous self-improvement a cornerstone of your career strategy and exit planning. Another factor that changes everything is framing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to further skill stack and prove your adaptability. This proactive, adventurous spirit will not only sustain your financial runway, but ensure your journey to job escape is one of fulfillment, not just survival. Take a moment to consider how shifting your perspective towards adventure could change your current approach to a challenge. Your path to freedom is an epic journey. Embrace every twist, turn, and triumph. Own your narrative. Chart your course. With that foundation in place regarding embracing the adventure, we arrive at a crucial point of acknowledgement. Congratulations on taking these significant first steps towards financial freedom and designing your ideal career. Many professionals discover they are so focused on the destination that they neglect to recognize the immense effort and courage it takes just to begin the journey. This oversight can diminish internal motivation, lead to burnout cycles before real progress is made, and create unnecessary budget stress by undermining your commitment to runway building. Recognition isn't merely a courtesy. Recognition actively reinforces effort and fuels sustained income growth. The first thing to grasp is that simply engaging with this material, listening, reflecting, and planning, is a powerful act of commitment. Consider a time when a personal decision, even a quiet one made solely by you, profoundly shifted your trajectory. Think of the powerful leverage gained when you acknowledge that this intellectual skill stacking and strategic thinking are as vital as any external action in your career strategy. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their capacity to celebrate not just the grand victories, but the disciplined, consistent, internal work that precedes them. One shift that accelerates progress is to make self-acknowledgement a regular practice. Your practical action today is to consciously acknowledge your commitment to this path and celebrate your progress thus far, however subtle it might feel. This isn't about vanity. It's about reinforcing the positive feedback loop crucial for successful exit planning and navigating future boss dynamics. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that this self-recognition builds the resilience needed to push through client acquisition friction or temporary negotiation mistakes. Take a moment to truly appreciate the commitment you've shown by investing this time in yourself. You are equipped, you are capable, and your designed future is now within reach. Begin today, thrive tomorrow. Introduction. Think back to Maya, a project manager I advised a few years ago. Excellent at her job, consistently exceeding expectations, yet trapped. Every year, a standard 3% raise, barely keeping pace with inflation. Promotions were political, not merit-based. She felt her potential was capped, her time not truly her own. The late nights, the weekend emails, all for someone else's dream. This wasn't about laziness. Maya was driven, but she was building the wrong asset, someone else's company. This is the crux of it. Financial freedom isn't about yachts and mansions. It's about owning your time, directing your energy, and building wealth that serves your values. The first thing to grasp is that your income is directly tied to the value you bring to the marketplace. Many professionals discover that their earning power stalls when their skills become commoditized. Think of the moment when you realized your expertise wasn't as rare as you thought. That's the ceiling. One shift that accelerates progress is understanding that you can stack skills, combining seemingly unrelated abilities to create a unique and valuable offering. Consider a time when you've seen someone blend talents in an unexpected way for outsized returns. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their focus on building multiple income streams. Diversification isn't just for investments, it's for your career. Take a moment to notice where this principle already shows up in your own decisions. This audiobook is your toolkit. We'll craft your escape plan, brick by brick. Your freedom is not a dream, it's a design. Now here's where the real shift begins. Traditional employment, while familiar, often presents inherent ceilings on both growth and security. Many professionals discover that their earning potential in a traditional role hits an invisible ceiling, regardless of their effort or skill. Consider a time when a raise felt more like a concession than a recognition of your true value, tied to a fixed budget rather than market demand for your unique capabilities. This lack of direct control over your income is often the first sign of a limiting structure. The first thing to grasp is that genuine financial freedom isn't about avoiding work, but about controlling the terms of your work and the value you create. Think of the moment when a company restructuring or a change in management instantly shifted your career trajectory, even if your performance was stellar. This illustrates the fragility of perceived job security, where external dynamics dictate your path. One shift that accelerates progress is recognizing that your most valuable asset isn't your job title, but your capacity to solve problems for a market that rewards unique expertise. Another factor that changes everything is proactively building a runway, a financial buffer, and a skill portfolio that gives you the leverage to walk away from limiting situations. Your current job often dictates how you spend your time and energy, preventing you from investing in skill stacking that truly differentiates you or exploring higher leverage income streams. Take a moment to consider where these limitations might already be subtly influencing your current career choices. Understanding these inherent limitations is the critical first step toward building a career on your own terms. Your future is forged by your own design. Moving from theory into practice, we're going to cover the essential pillars of financial independence: runway building, strategic skill acquisition, income stacking, and meticulous planning. But before we strategize, we must establish our starting point. The first thing to grasp is that genuine control begins with a clear, unemotional assessment of your current financial situation and, most crucially, your net worth. Many professionals discover that without this baseline, any talk of escape or freedom remains a vague aspiration. Consider the stress of making significant career decisions, like negotiating a new role, or even starting a side venture, without knowing precisely how many months of expenses you can cover. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their unwavering clarity on their numbers. They know their burn rate, their assets, and their liabilities. One shift that accelerates progress is moving beyond a simple balance sheet to a dynamic cash flow statement, understanding not just what you have, but how money time moves through your life. Another factor that changes everything is accurately quantifying your freedom runway, the number of months you can sustain your desired lifestyle without active income. This figure is directly tied to your net worth and your disciplined tracking. Think of the moment when unexpected expenses arise, and instead of panic, you have a clear financial map to navigate. Take a moment to consider what assumptions you might be making about your current financial standing. Establishing this precise financial picture is the launch pad for all subsequent strategy. Know your numbers. Own your future. There's a deeper layer worth exploring. Confronting the often paralyzing myths surrounding job escape. Many believe that leaving a traditional role is an act of immense risk, demanding vast sums of capital, or a reckless leap of faith. This isn't just a misconception. It's a narrative that keeps professionals tethered to situations far riskier in the long run. What separates consistent earners from the rest is their ability to de-risk transitions by building leverage and understanding time security. Consider a time when your perception of job stability was shattered, not by your own choice, but by external forces like market shifts or corporate whims. The real risk isn't leaving, it's staying in a position where you lack control over your earning power and future trajectories. The first thing to grasp is that capital isn't solely a bank balance. It's also high-value, market-relevant skills and a meticulously constructed strategic plan. The fear of insufficient funds often stems from an unchecked burn rate or a lack of clarity on what is actually times required to bridge a transition. One shift that accelerates progress is embracing small, calculated experiments and skill development on the side, gradually proving new income streams before any drastic moves. This iterative approach allows for learning and adaptation, reframing potential failure not as a dead end, but as valuable feedback. Take a moment to notice where these ingrained fears might be influencing your own decisions right now. These are not insurmountable obstacles. They are simply challenges awaiting a strategic response. Your freedom begins with a reframed perspective. Let's build directly on what we uncovered about dispelling myths and reframing fears. This audiobook isn't merely for intellectual consumption. It's a practical blueprint, with each chapter designed to provide a clear roadmap and immediately actionable steps. Many professionals discover that the greatest barrier to progress isn't a lack of information, but a lack of consistent execution. Consider a time when you consumed valuable content, felt inspired, but then allowed inertia to win. That's a missed opportunity to build leverage for your career strategy. The first thing to grasp is that true transformation happens at the point of application. What separates consistent earners from the rest isn't necessarily more knowledge, but the discipline to test and implement new strategies. One shift that accelerates progress is making a firm commitment right now to implement at least one concrete action step from each chapter immediately after listening. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about building a consistent habit of doing, not just knowing. Think of the moment when a small, consistent action you took eventually led to a significant result, perhaps a new skill learned, a valuable connection made, or a budget shift that created more breathing room. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that each implemented step, no matter how small, adds to your runway, enhances your skills, or diversifies your income, moving you incrementally toward true financial independence. Take a moment to consider the cumulative power of small, consistent actions in your own life. This deliberate commitment to action is the engine of your journey. Listen, learn, and then do. Chapter 1. Runway Ready. Calculate your escape number. Think of Sarah, a talented marketing manager, highly skilled but utterly drained by the endless corporate grind. She saw opportunities for independent consulting, dreamed of flexible work. Yet every time she considered taking the leap, a cold dread would wash over her. It was the unknown financial gap. She didn't know how long she could last without her steady paycheck. That uncertainty kept her chained to a job she no longer loved. Her dream remained just that, a dream. Because she lacked one critical piece of data, her escape number. The first thing to grasp is that this isn't just a financial exercise. It's a profound act of strategic planning for your entire career. Your runway is the financial buffer, the savings you need to cover your living expenses for a defined period during a career transition. This concrete figure provides a target for security, transforming vague fear into an actionable goal. Without this precise number, strategy is built on quicksand. Consider the power you gain in negotiation, or the confidence to decline a suboptimal offer, when you know exactly how long you can comfortably sustain yourself without immediate income. One shift that accelerates progress is creating a precise spreadsheet to meticulously track times your monthly expenses, not just the big ones, for at least 3 months. This isn't about frugal living, but clarity. Another factor that changes everything is understanding that your escape number isn't static. It's a dynamic target based on your lifestyle choices and your strategic intent. Take a moment to consider how accurately you could state your current monthly expenses right now. Calculating this amount is your initial step towards true leverage and freedom. Your numbers empower your choices. With that foundation in place, let's turn our attention to optimizing that runway. The goal isn't just to calculate your escape number, but to actively extend it by identifying and reducing unnecessary expenses. This discipline directly boosts your savings rate and significantly accelerates your path to freedom. Many professionals discover that perceived capital requirements for career transitions often shrink dramatically when their personal burn rate is truly understood and optimized. The first thing to grasp is that every dollar you strategically reduce from your expenses is a dollar that no longer needs to be earned, effectively increasing your personal time and leverage. Consider a time when a surprise expense caused budget stress, limiting your options. This principle works in reverse. Consciously reducing outflows expands your options. Think of the cumulative effect of small, habitual outlays, those daily coffees, unused subscriptions, or convenience purchases that, over a month, can amount to a substantial sum. One shift that accelerates progress is approaching your spending with an intentional, strategic mindset, not deprivation. Your practical challenge for this section is to trim at least 10% from your current monthly spending, focusing on areas that don't genuinely enhance your life or contribute to your long-term goals. Another factor that changes everything is recognizing that this process isn't about austerity for its own sake, but about reallocating resources from consumption into your financial runway, building the very security you desire. Take a moment to identify one small, recurring expense you could comfortably eliminate this week. This deliberate reallocation of resources directly funds your independence. Every reduction builds your freedom. Let's build directly on what we uncovered regarding expense reduction. Now, we must distinguish between funds earmarked for true emergencies and those allocated for strategic investments. Proper allocation isn't just a best practice. It fundamentally maximizes your security and accelerates your growth potential. Many professionals mistakenly lump all their savings into one amorphous bucket, making it impossible to confidently deploy capital for either true emergencies or growth opportunities. This lack of clear distinction can be paralyzing. The first thing to grasp is the critical psychological and practical difference between these two types of funds. An emergency fund is your defensive line, a buffer against unexpected job loss, medical crises, or unforeseen expenses, preserving your basic survival. An opportunity fund, however, is your offensive capital, specifically allocated for strategic career moves, skill acquisition, a business launch, or market entry. Consider a time when you hesitated on a career-advancing course or a small side venture because you feared touching your savings, even though that money was meant for unexpected car repairs, not genuine emergencies. One shift that accelerates progress is establishing genuinely separate accounts for these distinct purposes. Your emergency fund should be easily accessible, liquid, and sometimes untouchable for anything but true emergencies. Your opportunity fund can then be built with a clear purpose, allowing you to take calculated risks without jeopardizing your core security. Another factor that changes everything is the mental clarity this separation provides. When your safety net is robust and separate, you gain the psychological bandwidth to think strategically about investing in yourself or your exit plan, knowing your basic needs are covered. Take a moment to consider how this clear delineation of funds might reshape your own financial confidence. This disciplined allocation maximizes both your current security and your future potential. Clarity fuels courage. This insight naturally leads us forward, from distinguishing fund types to a practical strategy for consistent progress. Automating your savings and investment contributions. This isn't just about financial efficiency. It's a powerful behavioral strategy that removes emotional barriers to wealth building and runway creation. Many professionals intend to save consistently, yet find themselves at the end of the month, eyeing their remaining balance and deciding to postpone a transfer, delaying their escape. The first thing to grasp is that automation eliminates this friction. It bypasses the daily willpower struggle, ensuring your financial freedom journey progresses relentlessly, almost invisibly. Consider a time when a well-intentioned goal slipped because life got busy, or a tempting purchase diverted funds. That's precisely where automation steps in, transforming intention into execution. Think of the peace of mind knowing your runway is building itself, month after month, without you having to actively decide times to move money. One shift that accelerates progress is immediately scheduling recurring, automatic transfers from your primary checking account to your designated emergency and opportunity funds, as well as investment accounts, timed for shortly after your paycheck arrives. Another factor that changes everything is the psychological leverage this creates. When funds are moved before you even register them as available, your budget naturally adjusts, and your commitment becomes non-negotiable. Take a moment to consider how much mental energy you currently spend deciding whether or not to save. Automated systems are the silent engines of your financial independence. Set it, forget it, and flourish.